Some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking. SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vaginas. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today. Lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose. 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 Expose.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scarce here. So from now on, I'm going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories.
Expose, 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 expose. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Expose, 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 expose. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose, 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 expose. It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Expose. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking. SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vaginas. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today. Lots of exposure. And double upload. Expose. 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 Expose.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scares here, and so from now on, I'm going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories.
Exposed, 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 exposed. You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. You are exposed, sir. I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God, expose you. Expose, 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 expose. It's time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you. To you. To you. E-X-P-O-S-E. Exposed. 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 Hashtag drama alert. There's news to expose. Hashtag breaking SS Sniper Wolf has a vagina. More on that at 11. Vagina. Hey guys, this is Scarce here. Lots of news today, lots of exposure, and double upload. Exposed. 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 You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed, 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 exposed. Boring. You are exposed, sir.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to expose you. Expose you. Oh my God.
I have the wrong
expose
mic
you.
in. Give me a second.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am completely pissed. I was gonna write a script for this video. Why am I still getting hate?
Hey, what's up guys, it's Scares here, and so from now on, I'm going to report the news. Let's go inside the stories.
Exposed. 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 You're exposed. You're exposed. You are exposed. 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 Exposed.
Check,
You
check.
are
All right,
exposed,
that's
sir.
better. I gotta lower it a
I'm
little
going
bit.
to expose you. Expose you.
I forgot I was
Oh my
filming
God,
me
expose
installing
you.
the 8 terabyte drive last night in the Neo, which I was up till 4 in the fucking morning, not putting the drive in. That took like 15 minutes. Audio is skipping.
Time for some exposure. Some exposure. Some exposure. Expose. Expose myself to you.
Is the audio actually skipping? Let me know now. Because if it's skipping, okay, it's not skipping. All right.
E-P-O-S-E. Exposed.
So, hello everybody. Might as well start this off lighthearted because the stream is going places, dark places.
Wash your balls.
How the hell are you this evening? So yeah, man. So I'll tell you the story behind this. It was actually, like I said, the drive was painless to install. It was actually now that I knew how to get into an Neo, it was actually really easy. I saw even some other YouTubers. The first one I opened up, you didn't see these teeny tiny screws here. So if you started to try to take off the back, which luckily I'm gentle with stuff and didn't break anything on the original Neo, you know, you just, okay, now I figured it out. So it took a little longer, but you figured it out. But this time that was easy. The drive is tight. It is still an NVMe. It's 2280. The original drive in here was a 2280 M.2 drive, lengthwise, but it's thick. There's a little tiny bit of flex. It does make me a little uncomfortable, but I've had zero issues, and I've been using the living shit out of it. So there are now 8 terabytes. 8 terabytes of storage in something the size, literally, of a Switch. It's a little bit thicker. A little bit thicker, a little bit wider, but it's basically the size of a Switch. There was one thing. What's clickbait about my title? I know I could place bets which video you're referring to, since I saw other people saying it. The quartering had or has COVID. I hope he's okay from it. I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish anyone to get, you know. Are you kidding? I used my other Aya Neo even after I was done with the review. I game in bed all the time. Has COVID. Okay. I wish people would listen and get the vaccine, but I know his take on that, and that is not what I'm going to... I'm not going to harp on that tonight, because I have other shit I want to talk about, but wish him the best. Hope he makes a full, speedy recovery, and that's it. I don't wish ill on anyone when that to like that. Whenever, however I feel about him and his takes on things is, you know... I'm not going to wish ill will on anybody for that, you know? But, back to this. So went to bed at like 4 in the morning and then woke up at 7. I was up all night getting ready to down. There's a whole, he posted a video. Maybe we'll watch it after, but this video about Casey is about an hour. So I don't think we're going to be getting to that, but maybe we will. We'll see. We'll see. But, so I woke up like 7 after going to bed at 4. That was fun. I'm like, I have to see all these games that are, because I installed every single game I felt like installing. I installed. Oh, it is on. Okay. So I I played Call of Duty. I was like, all right, cool, it works. I tried Zombie Army 4. It worked. Then I played some Doom Eternal, because I figured out how to give more wattage to the SoC. 25 made it stay at 25 watts. Nice, good place to be when you're plugged in, because it doesn't pump out too much heat and it ups the performance quite a bit. And I'm playing Doom Eternal and I'm hitting the left trigger and it feels fine. And I'm like, it's not doing anything. Like, I'm not firing the, like, if you have the shotgun, you could fire like bombs and they stick to your enemies in Doom Eternal. Then I played but then I went and played Call of Duty again, and the left trigger worked, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you know, and I know these are now pressure sensitive triggers, but I'm thinking, like, you know, why would they work for one game and not? So I'm sitting there, I'm like, why does I checked to see if there was firmware, and I'm like, wait a second, just for the hell of it, because these are analog triggers, let me test them. There's a website you could go to that you just literally just go to the website, make sure your controller is connected to your computer, whether it be wireless or Bluetooth or whatever. And every button you hit, it'll show if it registers or not. And if it's analog, it'll show how much it registers. So hit the right trigger, it registered. It's analog, so you could, depending how much you push it, it goes all the way to 1.0. So then I hit the left trigger and only went to 0.16. I'm like, I bet you the sensor's a little bit off. So at like half asleep at 7 in the morning, I re-cracked this open, seated it again, and it's perfectly fine. But that was it. Everything else, the drive was super easy to install. It's tight. I have 8, even with all of the games, every single game I wanted to install. Let me see here. Let me go to this PC. I still have 5.2 out of 7.27 terabytes free. I still have 5.25 terabytes to go. I don't even know what to do with the space. I don't even know what to do with the space. But, you know, Ben Shapiro's political nipples. It is, I mean, even though it's an APU, it's beefy. There's literally no game you cannot play on this. Even now with the APU tuning software where I'm giving 25 watts to the SoC at all times, even Halo Infinite I could keep above 30 even outdoors, which I couldn't do before without the software where it was kind of like, I think it was running at like 10 or 15 watts. Even with the IS Space, even with the IS Space, it even though it said it was at 25, it wasn't making it like now that I'm using the APU tuner, which is nice because you could set it up so it instantly starts every time, so it actually keeps your processor at 25 watts. I'm getting a lot of performance difference. You could play. This is how awesome this thing is. You could play Forza Horizon 5 at high settings and stay locked at 30. You want to get 60, you knock it down, but it's fucking amazing. But the problem is that it's going to be a tough sell. All right, I guess we'll watch the video with the quartering because everyone seems to want. We'll watch that first, as long as it's not like 3 hours. And how does JT this? You mean what is JT? Jonathan Thomas. You stream makes my 45-minute commute to work easier. Rich, thanks. You're welcome. Thank you. You are gaining weight. Are you getting a second bypass procedure done? No, I'm not getting a second bypass procedure done. Is that like a nice? You're like, hey, how could I say something trolling? The quartering has COVID. I'll talk about it. Rich, there were more interesting Jays than Casey. I voted for the police chief woman who caught up decades later. Yeah, I bring out the birds. I got plenty of birds here. So, yeah, that was I got baited into a troll. That's okay. So the bird, actually, a new bird has entered the chat. Neil, how did I miss? Well, he can take whatever he wants to, man. He's a grown man. Oh, no, never mind. I got to set up this bird. I didn't know that. I thought it was already a set up bird. Developers. Oh, how does this compare? I mean, OLED's going to be better. One thing, I actually don't even care that it's not OLED. I just don't understand the 12 by 10 aspect ratio. So most games it's fine. Some games are just like, what the fuck, and they get weird, and then they won't go into full screen mode, or if they have borderless full screen. And it just, like, for example, like Halo Infinite. I'm trying to think of the best example. Halo Infinite. It thinks the screen is at like 1280 by 815. It's not like the actual resolution of the screen. If you want to scale the resolution, it won't let you scale it as much as you want to. So just make screen 16 by 9. I'm kind of disappointed they did that with the Steam Deck too. There must be some kind of bulk fire sale for using 16 by 10. That's why they keep going with that one. Rich, you see the ad from Star Wars theme hotel on Disney. Disney pulled out the video from YouTube amid fans severe. Cost 12. Well, dude, they're going to try everything to milk that IP dry, man. You know that. Did you see the power on dock? Microsoft finally admitted what the cause of the red ring. No, I didn't see it yet. Yeah, I mean, I understand you're getting more screen real estate and it's a higher resolution, Sakazi, but a lot of games are not a lot. It's a matter of fact, it's the minority, but certain games are like, what the fuck is this? You know? And some games look stretched, like just 16 by 9. or isn't 1600 or no? What is 900p? Is that 1600 by 900 900p? Make it 1600 by 900. So, yeah, it's 1600 by 900. So here we go. So I remember this from 2008 when this was actually going on in real time. Get rid of that. I don't have to get rid of that. It was a much... Or even 13. I would even take 1366. That's 16 by 9 as well, isn't it? I'm just not a fan of the 16 by 10. It was over, and it was 2008. We're in 2021. It was over. It's almost 13 years ago this shit happened. Did I miss another super chat here? Someone says I missed one and I'm not seeing it. So yeah, we'll watch it eventually, but we're going to look at this because I just find this fascinating.
Most of you will already be aware of who 2-year-old Kaylee Anthony was. The majority will know that she sadly passed away at some point between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. on June 16, 2008. Her death is undoubtedly the most heartbreaking part of this story, and we only need...
God, I was still with like my ex-girlfriend at the time. I'll make it full screen in a second, yeah. Jesus, that's how long this is going back.
Need a single word to epitomize her short life. Tragic. But the primary subject of this...
What a cute kid, too. What a shame. Not that any kid, this is a tragedy, but I just don't understand. I can't compute it.
Video is not about the life nor the death of Kaylee Marie Anthony. It is in fact about the psychological constitution of her mother, 22-year-old Casey Marie Anthony. So rather than tragic, you'll find the words disturbing and perplexing to be far better suited to the theme of this video. One of the many reasons this case is exceptional is how the present day's topic of discussion has little to do with the actual occurrences of the crime, but in fact the subsequent developments that followed. People are no longer talking about how or even why Kaylee Anthony passed away. They are instead talking about the manner in which a mother responded to her daughter's death. Given all the acquired information we now have, even if we afford this person the most morally acceptable possibility of what occurred, her manner of conduct was still unimaginably cold-blooded. This is driven home by the fact she was evaluated by 2 clinical psychologists during her time in custody, and not a single abnormality was discovered with relation to her psychological state. In other words, there were no signs of mental illness whatsoever. And this makes the character study of Casey Anthony just as fascinating.
Did you really go to high school with her, or are you just trolling?
As it is terrifying. A human being's state of mind is something most accurately assessed with the full capacity of hindsight. So before we evaluate our first segment of raw footage...
She was a partier, man. What it really seems like, I mean, this isn't... I'm not spoiling a case. It just seemed like she didn't want to be a mother. And she just is like, yeah, I'll just... Here's an easy... I'll kill my kid. You could be sane, just not have a conscience. That's a sociopath.
Here's a quick rundown of each of the essential moments that will give you a broader understanding of what we're actually dealing with. On the 15th of July, 2008, Orlando police received a call from Cindy Anthony, the grandmother of the victim.
911, what's your emergency? I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff. I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month.
That's how you would expect someone to sound if their kid was missing. Well, first off, why would you wait a month for your kid? That makes zero fuck. That alone is like... I know you need more of a case than say someone's guilty than that, but what the fuck? You know? What's up, Hispanic? Dan Wolf, why are you... Let's not even open up that can of worms, please. Let's not even go there. But yeah, I want to watch that documentary, man, but I've been working on other shit today. All day.
We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. My daughter finally...
That's the grandmother calling. But any human being whose child or grandchild is missing, you would expect to... I don't know, be panicking and not wait a month to fucking call. I mean, call me crazy.
Admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her. Your daughter admitted that the baby is where? But the babysitter took her months ago. My daughter's been looking for her. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. She just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself. There's something wrong.
Such a load of shit.
I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car. Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
What do you do as a parent if your kid comes over, your grandkid is missing, and you go to your kid's car and the car smells? I can't even imagine. I know, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, Braden. I can't even compute that. Like, what do you do? I saw it, Braden. The developer's Twitter. Ploth.
Kaylee, Caylee, Anthony. Kaylee Anthony? Yes. How long has she been missing for? I have not seen her since the 7th of June. Is your daughter there? Yes.
Thank you, DBZ King.
She's downstairs. They want to talk to you. Answer the question.
That alone, I don't have anything to say to them or talk to them. Your kid is missing. What do you mean you don't have any? You don't have anything your kid is missing and you have nothing to say to the police? I'm telling you, I saw their Twitter. It's official. They're not going to have an NFT in there because they realize that it is such an awful look. Who are the Proud Boys? Pieces of shit. I don't remember Death Metal Probe. I have watched this actually a couple times before because I found it fascinating, but I don't remember. There were some technicalities in the case. It's like kind of, it was, I guess you could call it the O.J. Simpson effect, where it's like very obvious that the person is fucking guilty, but stupid shit got them off. Hell, O.J., the criminal case was failed so miserably by the prosecution and law enforcement there that the civil case proved him guilty. So you can say OJ is a guilty piece of shit. Like, I mean, I have to abide by the law with Casey Anthony. I mean, it's pretty obvious that she's guilty, but hey, she was proven innocent in a court of law, and we have to have faith in that system or society just collapses. But, man, obvious shit is obvious, though.
Hello? Hello? Yes. Can you tell me what's going on a little bit? I'm sorry? Can you tell me a little bit what's going on? My daughter's been missing for the last 30...
I knew Gavin McGinnis, who wasn't he the founder of the Proud Boys? I knew he was a piece of shit before I even really knew that he was a piece of shit. I remember his stupid fucking take on video games and him and his disheveled beard crying about them back in like 2016.
And you know who has her? I know who has her. I've tried to contact her. I actually received a phone call today, now from a number that is no longer in service. I did get to speak to my daughter for about a moment.
How does any of this make sense? Your kid is missing. You think you know who kidnapped them, and you don't go to the cops instantly? Instantly? I just incredible.
About a minute. Who has her? Do you have a name? Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
To give some
and you even know the name, and you still, like, come on.
context to this bizarre phone call, Casey Anthony had left...
Oh, of course she's lying. I know she's lying. It's just incredible that this how did this work? How is this monster... Yes, I talked about that. I made a video about that because it was so pathetic. Yeah, I know, Braden. I made a video about that many years ago. Rich, is Splinter Cell remake going to be modern Ubisoft Tower? I hope not. I'm so tired of Tower Climber Simulator Soft.
Watch your balls. Watch your balls. Watch your balls. Watch your balls. Watch your balls.
Hakuna Matata's. Yeah, actually, shout out to a subscriber of mine. She sent me first that they were getting rid of NFTs. So she put me on to the story. And thank you to... I actually responded to Google Fish while I was pissing, so he got the privilege of hearing me urinate. Dude, this shit's like a drug to me, Solid Crusader, so we're just gonna keep going with this. I watch this shit all the time. If I could get paid for watching shit that I watch anyway... You know what I'm saying? Like today, I was going to do the newest one. JCS just put a new one up. It's the most insane, and I'm going to keep everything in it. There's just one word I'm going to have to actually download the video and edit it out. One word. He says every word in the fucking language. I have no issue with that. You guys know it, but there's like, just like I had to take down the wing stream because there was something in there too. Then I'm just like, one word, just one word.
The family home with her daughter a month earlier, stating that she had a work assignment in Tampa and would be traveling the entire time. Kaylee's grandparents would ask repeatedly over the following month to see, or at least speak to their granddaughter, but Casey claimed each and every time that she was too busy with work, and that Kaylee was with a nanny who went by the name Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, or Zanny for short. On July 15th, exactly...
Oh, dude, he was nuts too, Solid Crusader, you're right. He was like... His reaction just was so off. It was so obvious that fuck was guilty. And you hear the whole back... We're going to watch 2 videos on that because there's a guy who I watch who... He always talks... He's like, mental health... He kind of looks like if Kip from Napoleon Dynamite was a psychologist. I love him. He's one of my favorite channels. Grande, Dr. Grande. Unlike... his name is the opposite of my penis. And I love his channel. I think he's fantastic and fascinating, and he's kind of like he almost does ASMR by accident. But if you watch his earliest videos, I'm not even being funny. Like, he looks different now. He doesn't look like him anymore, but he used to look exactly like Kip from Napoleon Dynamite. Go to his channel, go to his oldest videos, and you're just like, he's like interviewing people. So tell me about your problems. Jeez. I'm telling you.
Weeks after Kaylee was last seen.
Dude, that was a pretty piss poor, I would say. I mean, again, it's not my... I get, you can maybe say, Rich, those aren't your kind of games. How can you judge? You're right, go fuck yourself. But...
by her grandparents.
Moonchild, Rich, why can't you tell us about... I bitch about everything. I mean, I keep shit personal. I don't know if you're joking or not, but...
George Anthony received a phone call that the family car was at the impound lot. This immediately alerted suspicion, as it was the same car Casey had supposedly been traveling with for work. Suspicion turned into panic once they picked up the vehicle, and George discovered a strong odor emanating from the trunk, one that he recognized from his years as a police officer, and found comparable to that of human decomposition. Through contact...
Could you imagine? You have... you were a law enforcement, so you have knowledge and expertise in the field. Your granddaughter's missing. You go to the trunk of your daughter's car, and you see the warning signs that you would have saw as a police officer that there was a dead body there. Like, I wonder if they talk to her now. Like, how... I don't even know how that would work. Okay, you... Like, because in your heart of heart, you know it's your kid, but you know she killed your granddaughter and got away with it. He wasn't a cop anymore, Lee. It wasn't his job to... I mean, what the fuck is Thanksgiving like? I don't know.
Contacting one of Casey's friends, her parents managed to track her down at her boyfriend's house in Orlando, where they were found smoking marijuana and watching TV. When inquired over the whereabouts of her daughter, Casey stated that she had been kidnapped 31 days before by the supposed babysitter. It was at that moment Cindy Anthony called 911.
911, what's your emergency? Who has her? Do you have a name? Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. Who is that? Babysitter? She's been my nanny for about a year and a half, almost 2 years. Why are you calling now? Why didn't you call 31 days ago? I've been looking for her and have gone through other resources to try to find her.
Why? No, it's not stupid. It's suspicious. If, God forbid, one of my kids went missing, instantly I would call. Like, there's no you could have a 34 IQ and know someone I know, child or not, is missing. Call the police. Anyone who's innocent, who has a basic functioning brain. A chimpanzee would know to do that. My dog, who wears a diaper and humps cats, would know to call the police if someone was missing. Carlos would. That's not stupid. It's super fucking suspect. Her family is originally from my hometown. Her dad's family used to own a bunch of Dodge dealerships, so they're loaded. Her dad... Oh, really?
This is stupid. I think the officers are here. The officers are there? Yes.
Now let's indulge in the world of fantasy for just a moment and pretend all...
She has a weird-shaped head. I mean, she's not a bad-looking woman, but she just... I don't know, she just looks strange.
All of what Casey had just stated was true. She had indeed been working, and her daughter was in fact kidnapped by the babysitter a month earlier. The immediate premise most would gather would be that Casey had no regard for her daughter whatsoever. In the 911 call, there was no urgency nor concern in her voice, and rather than her volunteering information, which most parents would do in a frantic manner, it had to be acquired by the dispatcher through repeated inquisition. All you have to do is compare Casey's dialogue to that of her mother's in the same phone call.
Yeah, I just said that. Exactly.
One was indifferent, while the other was distraught. Police would have picked up on this immediately, even without the bizarre phone call.
She looks a lot better with her hair down. She's a terrible fucking woman, don't get me wrong. She's absolutely awful, but...
The circumstances alone would make Casey the prime suspect in her daughter's disappearance. She was immediately interviewed as a witness, which, unbeknownst to her, was the detective's first step in locking...
That big forehead alone is I'm just saying, man. I look like a thumb without a beard. No. You can't, if a woman is psychotic, you can't fix them. It doesn't matter how good looking you are. It does not matter. I assure you, you can't. I am sufficiently intoxicated, ready for my nightly drunk. Pray I don't slip off the toilet. And don't drink. Nightly dump.
Her into as many lies as possible.
I look great without a beard. You need to get your fucking eyes checked. I don't think I'm a bad-looking dude. I mean, I don't think I'm, you're not going to put me on a swimsuit calendar anytime soon, I assure you. But I don't think I'm a bad-looking guy, but I am also realistic, and I know without a beard, I look like someone drew a face on a fucking thumb. Wash your balls.
Wash your balls.
Just a larger front yard. I'm not even I know it's something sexual, but I'm just not sure.
Right now is July 16, 2008. The time right now is 04:11 hours. I'm Detective Mellish with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
Noises of holes.
I am with Casey Anthony, is that correct?
Yes.
Casey, you understand this is being recorded?
Yes.
Do you have any objection to that?
No.
All right. Casey, I got called here in reference to a missing child. You took Casey to a babysitter's house.
Yes.
And who was this babysitter?
Her name is Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez.
How long had you known Zenaida?
Almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years.
Rich, I'm not gay, but when I see, I feel something. But even like the names, I need a whatever the hell it was. Like, it just sounds like someone would make up in a fictional novel. Maybe she was real. She didn't kidnap her. I'm not saying that, but it's like this is like a really bad fictional plot a kid would make for not doing homework.
Christmas this year.
And where did you meet her? Who did you meet her through?
Shigeru Miyamoto says the birds sound like they're fucking. Linus Tech Nips, that made me have to get a seltzer. Mr. Miyamoto, I need more to drink after a message like that. Stacy's mom's got it going on. My birds have schlongs and they are long. Let me just drink something to wash that weird statement I just made down. I can't wash the taste out. Why are you ruining me? What's wrong with you? I didn't listen to me. This is my show. You stand right here. I have coffee near the very expensive product that I'm reviewing. That is pretty much the only shortcoming to it, which is going to make it tough for me to recommend. You almost made me spill my coffee on the Aya Neo Pro. And then Aya Neo wouldn't like me anymore because I broke their product before I reviewed it. And then I wouldn't like myself because I just, not only does the Aya Neo broke, but I probably just destroyed a $1,300 8 terabyte NVMe hard drive. You fucking bird! Stacy, can't you see? You're just not the bird for me. Sometimes I just like to watch this poultry pee. Don't ask me why I like to watch birds pee. It's just a pastime of mine. I like watching birds pee. I like birds. They lay turds. I love birds. Okay, now back to the show.
A mutual friend, his name is Jeffrey Michael Hopkins. I met him at Nickelodeon at Universal, and I met her through him.
Crazed
She
assassin.
was his son's nanny at the time.
Does Jeffrey still work at Universal?
No, he does not.
I just said your name. How do you feel about that?
About 9-10 months, give or take. He moved up to North Carolina for a short time.
This is the worst story I ever heard in my fucking life.
Within the last 3 months.
How would you characterize your relationship with me?
I could make up something more believable on the fucking fly, and she had like 2 months to make this up. How did this woman get off? I don't understand. I'm just baffled. Yes, the forehead thing is real.
I don't give a shit!
Dude, she has more forehead than me, and I'm bald. Like, and does anyone really care that I'm making fun of fucking Casey Anthony anyway? Like, seriously? Rich, how dare you mock Satan? I'm sorry, excuse me. Holy shit, Michael Cortez, are you serious? I have a massive forehead too, but I have less forehead than her and I'm fucking bald. How is that? I have a pretty big head. You're not the head for me.
Miss Anthony.
More or less acquaintances.
We're very good friends.
We fucked once.
Not very good friends.
Did you ever work at
Doesn't matter. We fucked once.
Universal Studios?
I did.
When did you work at Universal Studios?
Approximately 2002.
How long did you work there for?
1 year.
Did you ever work there at the same time
What's up,
that
Seth?
Casey Anthony worked?
I don't think so.
You don't recall ever seeing her there?
Never.
Did you ever introduce Casey Anthony to a woman by the name of
We
Zenaida
got Jade
Gonzalez?
Shara X.
I did not.
Thank you for becoming a horse
Did
tuber.
you ever use Zenaida Gonzalez as a nanny?
No, sir.
Do you have any children?
No, sir.
Have you lived in the Orlando area consistently since 2002?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever lived in Jacksonville?
No, sir.
Have you ever lived in North Carolina?
No, sir.
Big what?
Did you see Casey Anthony in the month of June of 2008?
Big hole?
No, sir.
When was the last time you spoke with him?
About a week and a half ago.
Do you know a telephone number for him?
I can find a number for him. I don't know a number offhand. No, I do not.
So you met Zenaida through Jeffrey Hopkins,
I did.
and his son Zach Hopkins, I guess. Zenaida used to watch over Zach.
Yes.
And when
And he doesn't even have a kid, right? Oh,
did she start
oh,
watching
boy.
over your child?
It's been within the last year and a half, 2 years that she started watching Kaylee.
How would you normally drop off, or how would you normally do the exchange with your child and Zenaida? Would you drop the child off? Would she meet you somewhere?
I would usually drop her off. For a few months, we would go over to Jeff's house. He lived over in Avalon Park.
And you would go to Jeff's house why?
To drop off Kaylee. That's where Zenaida would go to watch both of the kids.
Yeah, she kind of does look like an elf. You're right. Someone said she looks like an elf. Yeah.
Okay.
It was in a nice centralized area. He had a decent sized house. It was good room for the two of them.
Go back to your statement. You dropped off Kaylee June 9th, and walk me through. You dropped her off to go to work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Get off of work and go from there.
I got off of work, left Universal, driving back to pick up Kaylee like a normal day. And I show up to the apartment, knock on the door, nobody answers. So I call Zenaida's cell phone and it's out of service. I didn't really want to come home. I wasn't sure what I'd say about not knowing where Kaylee was. Still hoping that I would get a call or, you know, find out that Kaylee was coming back so then I could go get her. And I ended up going to my boyfriend Anthony's house, who lives in Sutton Place.
Did you talk to Anthony about what happened with Kaylee?
No, I did not.
Have you talked to anyone?
How do you have one of your kids missing? Go for a month of that and like not fucking tell it. Like, this is the weakest fucking story. It is this is the weakest story that someone ever got off with. It makes OJ's case seem way more compelling, and his case was garbage to the point that he lost in civil court. So he is guilty. Like, how? How?
About Kaylee, about your incident with Kaylee? Or the fact
Outside
that
of
she's missing?
a couple people, a couple mutual friends.
Who did you talk to about it?
I talked to Jeffrey Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
You're out partying and sucking cock while your kid is like this is insane.
I talked to Juliette Lewis. She's one of my coworkers at Universal.
She works. You still work at Universal?
Yes,
What do you do at Universal?
an event coordinator.
Okay. What is Juliet? What position is she? Where she works?
She's also an event coordinator. We work in the same department.
Juliette Lewis doesn't exist. Casey had briefly worked at Universal, but hadn't been.
She's making up people. She's making up people. Why? Is that okay? So maybe her ridiculous story. Let's not put coffee near the expensive hard drive. Maybe in some awkward, weird fucking universe, her story was true. It's not. She's making up people. You don't make up people when you are desperately trying to look for your daughter and your story pans out. You make up people if you're trying to sweep shit under the rug. Like, what happened here? Oh, I love JCS. He's like he does like the Chris Hansen style jabs where it's still professional. Like his newest video, he's fucking hilarious. And he has this monotone thing going on, but it's the timing of the way he does stuff. The guy's a legend.
Been employed there for over 2 years prior to this interview, and she wasn't an event coordinator. She stood behind a kiosk and sold photos of people after they had been on the Incredible Hulk ride.
She's making up people. You don't make up something when you're not guilty. You only make up stuff when you're guilty and you're trying to hide things. How? Oh, God.
And
I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this through without passing out.
no, she's not. Some of the more recent numbers, her number just changed because she just moved back up north. She, within the last 2 months, has finished moving up to New York. She's subleasing her apartment.
So Juliet doesn't work at the Universal anymore?
No, she does not.
What's the reason, I asked you this before and I'll ask you just for the record, what's the reason you didn't call the police before?
I used to have the hots for Juliet Lewis.
I think part of me was naive enough to think that I could handle this myself, which obviously I couldn't. And I was scared that something would happen.
Oh, we are going to do Rambo Cliff. And every single word in there, I'm okay with the vile shit that comes out of his mouth. -1, so I have to clip. He says the word twice. I have to clip it out. The rest of it's fair game, though. No other censorship. And that will be quite fun.
Happen to her if I did notify the authorities or got the media involved. Just the fear of the unknown, fear of the potential of Kaylee getting hurt, of not seeing my daughter again.
That's bullshit. You go, she's shit. That was a thought out. Okay, what piss poor but least piss poor excuse can I make up for not going to the police instantly? Oh, the media attention. I was afraid. It would have not. Yeah, that's weak. It's the least weak out of the weak, but it's still pathetically weak. You're a liar. You're an absolute liar. Any parent that's even a semi-decent parent would freak out and go to the police instantly if their kid, God forbid, was missing.
I asked you this at the onset and asked you before we went on tape, and I'll ask you again just to make sure we're clear. Is there anything about this story that you're telling me that...
And she's lying. She just made up a person. I did not do. That's incredible. I didn't know that. That's even more insane. You pretend like you said you work somewhere that you don't work. Who would do this? What innocent person would do this? Like, how is this not all severely damning? I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the law to that degree. I didn't do that on purpose. I really didn't. But I don't know. How is this not pretty much open and shut that this son of a bitch did this? I'm baffled. Like, I hope the prosecution that worked on this case never worked again. I hope their career was ruined, because it should be. If this monster got off, that I could even tell it was a slam fucking dunk. You should never, because you will not get your record must suck.
Is untrue, or is that...
And even if it doesn't, the fact that you still blundered this, I'm always about giving people second chances, but this is like handing a legal softball, a beach ball, to prosecution to nail out of the park, and they still out there. I don't care if you had a flawless record, you blunder something like this. It's like if someone works at a bank perfect and they're a great employee for 40 years, but then one day to decide to take a shit in the front entrance for everyone to slip on. It kind of doesn't matter that you were a great employee for 40 years when you take a dump right in the front entrance. This is their dump. The prosecution took way too massive of a shit in the front entrance of law, and they should not practice anymore. That is all the birds. You hit it with your foot. I didn't tell you to hit that button. What did you do? No one invited you here. Go fuck yourself. I see. I know you're fucking looking at me. Do you think I'm stupid? Should I drink? Which one should I drink? Oh, I'm gonna have coffee. Go fuck yourself again. You thought you knew me. Well, yeah, you don't have to want to have kids to not know that. You know, I get what you're saying, dead man, but yes, everyone out there, and I'm not shitting on you. I'm just fucking around. Killing kids is not a good idea. It's a really bad thing to do. I'm just busting your chops, dude. I'm joking with you. Old McRichard had a horse, and in that studio he had some birds. E-A-A-O. With a cluck cluck here and a bird cock there. Birds. Why does Rich make me want to shit so badly? Daniel Jr. said, well, you know what, Daniel Jr., I have that effect on people. Whenever they just see me, they just want to shit. Stand over there, babe. So again, yeah, it's dude, it's sociopaths. So you could say that they're evil. Not all, but. She has to have some. I'm not a psychiatrist, and I don't have a degree in mental health, but she has to be a sociopath. How do you kill your own kid for selfish purposes because you just don't want to deal with them? How could you be that level of monster? I can't even compute it. I have 3 kids. I can't fathom it. It's just incredible.
Is there anything that you want to change or divert from what you've already told me?
No, sir.
Did you cause any injury to your child, Kaylee?
No, sir.
Did you hurt Kaylee or leave her somewhere and you're worried that if we find that out that people are going to look at you a wrong way?
No, sir.
Yeah, and that too. Like, if you can't handle motherhood, at least adoption. Jesus Christ, you kill them? What was she, 2 or 3? Holy shit.
And you're telling me that Zenaida took your child without your permission and hasn't returned it?
The last person that I've seen with my daughter, yes.
Is she Puerto Rican? Is she Dominican? Is she white?
She's
mixed.
lying here.
She's black and Puerto Rican.
Is there any underlying...
I had someone genuinely believe you were my dad for about 30 seconds. Yeah, the girl was like, who you watching? I was like, my daddy, my father, oh, Jesus Christ.
Pause to why Zenaida would have taken your child?
Nothing that...
She ever make any statements to you about...
And again, who makes up stuff
Kaylee and how great of a
if
kid
they have
she
nothing
is.
to hide? It's...
And when you talk to
What
Jeffrey
a
afterwards,
failure.
I'm assuming that
What
Jeffrey's
a
child
failure.
is still with him.
His child is still with him.
You said Zenaida had family up in New England, up in New York or
Yes,
something?
she has family down south. Her mother and her sister. Her brother's in New York. She's originally from New York. Pretty much grew up there, moved down here, went to the University of Florida.
Zenaida, the nanny, doesn't exist. Casey never had a babysitter.
Guilty. I just... The base of her story I didn't even know that. I thought the whole kidnapping thing was bullshit, but I thought at least the woman existed. Oh, come on. Come on. How is she not in prison? You guys know how about a court of law over a court of public opinion, but how do you have all of this evidence? All of this evidence. It's just common sense. I didn't know that. I'm not very religious, but people like her make me hope that hell and the devil are real. Yes, I do agree too. Hopefully she will get what she deserves. And how is, like, the parents, like someone said they keep in contact still, how do Christmases go down knowing that it's painfully obvious that your daughter is a murderer? I don't know. I just can't compute it. I just thank God I'm not in that position. People will disagree, but I'm against abortion. If they don't want the kids, just have them for adoption, but don't kill it. I just don't. Like, we go there tonight, we'll never leave. So let's just, the birds are here. Let's just do the birds. We'll do. Wash your balls. Phil is washing his balls as we speak. His his Christmas Eve live stream is going to be a balls Christmas Eve. Wash your balls. Hey everybody, tune in. If I hit my membership goal of 700 people, I'll wash my balls live. You won't see anything because it'll be a Bet's TOS, but you can listen to me moan. Wash your balls. Wash your balls. Wash your balls. It'll be a Philip Burnell balls Christmas Eve. Tune in to DSP Gaming to listen to Philip Burnell wash his balls live on stream this December 24th. Bring the family around your smartphone and listen to a middle-aged man wash his testicles. Wash your balls. I'm out of my fucking mind, huh? One of the darkest fucking subjects ever. I'm sitting here, we're talking about Philip Burnell washing his balls. Would you let Carlos and Steve peck corn and other assorted birdseed from your cheeks? Would? Or have I already, is what you should be asking, sir. Hey, Daddy, is that DSP Gaming washing his testicles? Why, yes, son. Come listen to a grown man moan in the shower while washing his balls. Wash your balls. I hit the wrong button. Fuck you. It kind of sounds like he's saying Wasp Nation. It kind of wash your balls and olive oil. That was pretty fucking good. I like that.
Being the retrospective viewer, we have the benefit of knowing these are outright fabrications, and these meticulous details are a textbook sign of a pathological liar. She speaks eloquently and naturally, as if her dialogue is a reflex response to the questions she's being asked, when in reality, each of these minor details are calculated and deliberately placed for the purpose of deception, and the nonchalant, easygoing tone she employs is used to camouflage anxiety. Casey has not only...
We got to stop for a second. I'm just still, maybe because I'm stoned and I'm envisioning this right now. Like, imagine you're at like a Christmas Eve party and on the big screen someone has the YouTube app on and all of a sudden you're just sitting there, you're pouring yourself some eggnog. Maybe you're having like a little horse hors d'oeuvre. Kind of looks like horse, but it says hors d'oeuvre. And all of a sudden you just hear... like you're pouring the eggnog and you're like, what the fuck was that? Alright, whatever. Wash your balls. And then you go over to the person hosting and you're like, what the hell are you playing on the TV? They're like, what do you mean? What are you playing? Like, I just heard someone say, wash your balls. Like, wouldn't you play like Christmas songs? What is this? It's like, you don't know? It's DSP Gaming washing his balls on his annual stream. Fucking duh. It's a family tradition. You don't like listening to a man wash his balls on Christmas Eve. You're not part of the family, Chief, and you better get out. We always listen to DSP Philip Burnell wash his balls on Christmas Eve. We're not breaking that tradition for you. Multiple DSP laughs. Oh, no, yeah. Well, like, this is what you want. That sounds like you're about to go to one of the fucking most epic Dark Souls bosses. I'm about to get destroyed, and that's how it starts. You're already pouring the potion down your throat to regain your health, and you just, like, the wind just blew on you.
Only become accustomed to manipulation. She has become extremely skilled in how to
For me, that would be the first level, but first boss, by the way.
use it effectively. It takes us to the concept of nurture and how it most likely had a significant impact on her current circumstances. If we go through what we know about Casey's domestic history...
Oh, God. She's like literally doing the stereotypical duck face, really? Casey, OJ, the Ramseys, Gary Condit, and Ted Kennedy walk into a bar. The bartender gets murdered, but everyone is somehow innocent. And somehow all of them get off, too.
There are numerous occasions where she had gotten away with things that most would not, simply due to the fact that she was able to continuously lie without conscience. A prime example could be when she was 18 years old and stopped attending class midway through her senior year. She literally skipped the entire second half of her final year to go hang out with her older boyfriend. Her parents became suspicious on several occasions, yet each and every time, Casey had some whimsical excuse to which she was given the benefit of the doubt. Then just days before...
So she, well, I mean, she's still an absolute psychopath, but they're saying she was never held accountable for anything. I think I remember this, like the parents covered up for her or something like that because she didn't graduate. Like, why would you, man, if my kid told me that they skipped a half a year and got and like they took the bus and just didn't go to school, I would kick their ass. Metaphorically, of course, family-friendly show, but they'd be in trouble. There would be things taken away for the entire year, and they would be going to do senior year again. Wouldn't get away. I wouldn't be covering up for them. I'd be like, no, you're going to get embarrassed for being a dumbass, and you're going to have consequences for it.
Before graduation, her parents were informed by the school of her truancy, and that she would not be graduating.
Yeah, she's not a bad-looking woman, but doesn't mean that she's not a monster. You could say someone's good-looking and also say, yes, they're a monster.
When confronted, Casey's excuse was that her timetable was mixed up by the school, causing her to miss classes through no fault of her own. This is obviously a completely baffling excuse that no sane person...
I still would be very, conflicted on if it would either be her or Bonk's Adventure who would win in a fight, though. Now, if Alex Jones entered the chat too, he has a pretty big head. Like Alex Jones would be like, tyranny! And just like kill fucking everybody with one thrust. Alex, you're a man.
person would ever believe. Yet whether it be through denial or an overprotective nature, Casey's parents not only took her at her word, but even shielded her.
Her head shape is like a banana, though. Look, when she looks from the side, she looks like a moon or a banana.
From the consequences of her actions. They lied to all their family friends that she graduated with honors, and even threw her an extravagant graduation party the day after. This is just one...
See, why would you do that? Why would you enable your kid like that? What the fuck? You skipped a half a year of school, didn't graduate, but we're gonna lie and say that you did? Why would you do that? I mean, not telling other parents how to parent, but that's kind of like obvious shit 101. You know?
one of the many occurrences where Casey faced no ramifications for misconduct. It seemed to give her the belief that no matter what she did, as long as she could spin one lie after another, or at least drag a lie out for as long as possible, everything would work itself out. The truth is that everything did work itself out when she was dealing with her parents, and she evidently thought the same rules applied with regard to national...
I hate cigars. Marits, malts. Can't stand cigars.
law and a missing child's investigation. After the initial statement you just heard, Casey was asked if she could take police to all places of interest. She happily obliged, and then proceeded to lead them to a multitude of fake addresses which she had nothing to do with. She then took them...
How is this... I just don't... It just gets worse and worse. I know I'm saying the same thing, but it's just like hit after hit. The hits just keep coming. Making up people, taking the police to fake addresses, like she may as well have been like, hey, here's the murder weapon that you can't, like, it just, she could have handed the prosecution the murder weapon and still not be accused of murder. I don't understand.
Them to her supposed office at Universal Studios and literally led 3 senior investigators to the very end of the building, taking over 25 minutes to walk to, before she finally turned around, put her hands in her back pockets, laughed, and admitted that she didn't work there.
The justice system is broken. I mean, it works a lot of the time, but holy shit. How do you have all of this and she is a free woman? I don't understand. Literally, this fake porcelain fucking bird could have been the prosecution compared to the actual prosecution and had her do life in prison without the possibility of parole. Carlos, these are porcelain breasts. There is no real bird here. He would do a better job, the ass-eating chicken, than the prosecution who fumbled this up. Maybe law enforcement had some blunders with it too. I don't know. Everyone who was involved in this case against her should be fired. And never work in the legal field again. From cop to lawyer. Holy shit. Her lawyer said he screwed her and that she actually did it after they banged. Oh, God. This is just, what a disaster. What a disaster. Oh, Jesus.
Completely dumbfounded, the detectives placed her under arrest and took her to a conference room in the building for what was essentially an interrogation.
Since I left you this morning, I've gone to every address that you told me. I came over here, I've already talked to all the employees. I found out all these names that you're giving me are people that either never worked here or have been fired here for a long time ago. Okay, so where we are right now is in a position that doesn't look very good for you. Because obviously, I know, and you know, that everything you told me is a lie, correct?
This is like if someone wrote a script, if this tragedy never happened, which unfortunately it did, and someone wrote a script, a fictional script, with this kind of story, I would be like, no one will ever believe this. You're gonna have all this damning evidence for whoever's this character Casey, and she's acquitted. Yeah, no, get the fuck. That would never happen. That wouldn't. Here we are. Wouldn't believe it in a movie, but it's happening in real life. Fact is stranger than fiction. Peck it. Peck it. Do it. Do it. Not 2 buttons. Now you get the punishment. Yeah. Taste it. Taste it and let me know. Write a I want a paragraph on the flavor of that.
Not everything that I told you.
Pretty much everything that you've told me, including where Kaylee is right now.
That I don't know where she is.
Sure you do. And here's,
absolutely
listen,
do not know where she
let me explain something. Looking at you, I know that everything that you've told me is a lie. I am very confident, just by having talked to you the short period of time that you know where she is.
I legitimately have not seen my daughter in 5 weeks. I didn't let anything happen to her, except I trusted her with somebody that had been taking care of her, that had been taking good care of her. Someone that she was comfortable with, that I was comfortable with.
What about Jeff? You said Jeff worked here until about 2 months ago?
No, he hasn't worked here for quite a while.
10 months? How long?
It's been at least 10 months.
Okay. He got fired in 2002. He hasn't been an employee here since 2002.
Make yourself bigger, Dad.
We put a lot more together than I think you realize we put together.
All right, I'll make the screen size bigger.
Our purpose of coming here was to do what?
I'm trying to think of places where I know she's been.
You're not answering my question. Do you want us to help?
Yes.
You want to help us find your daughter?
I do want you to.
Well, a good starting point would be to answer the questions, okay? If I say to you, we're here because, and then you just ignore that like I never asked it and go off in some other direction, is that answering the question?
No.
Okay. Well, let's go through this again. We're here because.
Because I lied, because I brought you up here, and honestly I was reaching for
No, stop
another
right here.
avenue.
I want you to tell me how lying to us is going to help us find your daughter.
It's not going to.
Well, then if the main thing you want to do is find your daughter, and you don't think lying to us is going to help us find her, why would you do that?
Because she's fucking guilty. What is going on? How is this not I'm not a lawyer again, and I'm sure a lawyer would shut me down and roast the fuck out of me. But how is this not enough to just put this woman in jail for the rest of her life? I'm just baffled. I really am not saying it rhetorically. I think it's the right term. Like, I would want someone to explain to me how this just does not... How this isn't a slam dunk of a case that, like, the box could be the prosecutor and win. There's a beautiful bird in that box, by the way. There's a beautiful bird in the box. There's a beautiful bird in the box. There's a beautiful bird in the box. I call you birds, but you're also cocks. There's a beautiful bird in the box. There's a beautiful bird in the box. There's a beautiful bird in the box. Tomorrow, I'm going to say I have 2 cocks.
Because I'm scared, and I know I'm running out of options. It's been a month.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of not seeing my daughter ever again.
I'm a parent too. I would have been beside myself.
I have been.
I would have called the police immediately, and that's the part that I just don't understand.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't understand how this wasn't the easiest one of the easiest open and shut cases out there.
Well, we've got so many resources out there that we could help on day one.
You didn't know what to do.
I didn't know what to do. At that point, I'm thinking, okay, they haven't been gone that long. Maybe I can find them. Maybe I can track them down.
We're not stupid, okay? And what you're doing right now is you're treating us like we're stupid. Everything that's coming out of your mouth is a lie. Everything. Either you gave Kaylee to someone and you don't want anyone to find out because you think you're a bad mom, or something happened to Kaylee and Kaylee's buried somewhere or in a trash can somewhere, and you had something to do with it. Either way right now is not a very pretty picture to be painting. You're painting yourself as a very bad person. It needs to end.
The truthful thing is that I have not seen my daughter. The last time that I saw her was on...
And everything that man said was 100% true.
9th of June.
Remember we had those 2 people that we were talking about, the person who had an accident and a person who's just a cold-blooded, callous monster? That's telling me that you are the second person, this cold-blooded, callous monster who doesn't care and doesn't want to help because she's afraid that something so heinous happened that everyone's going to look at her and say, she's a monster, she deserves to go away, she deserves to never see the light of day, this bad thing should happen to her. I don't want to believe that right now, but you're giving me no choice. Tell us what happened to Kaylee. Tell us what happened to Kaylee.
I dropped off Kaylee. And that's the last time that I've seen her. I dropped her off.
Where did you drop her off?
I dropped her off at that apartment.
No, you didn't.
That's exactly where I dropped her off.
Did you just...
Dude, it's insane. But I guess if you're that mentally broken, if you're wiring, because if you're a sociopath, a lot of times you can't there's no amount of therapy, from what I heard, that could fix someone who's sociopathic. But if you could do that to begin with, I guess you can live with yourself. Like O.J. Simpson could do that to begin with. He could obviously live with himself. So we may not understand it, and we wouldn't be able to live with ourselves, but we wouldn't be put ourselves in this situation. So to them, it's no. O.J. Simpson is just like, yours truly here. Like, anybody wants to fucking hear from him and not just mock him incessantly for being a piece of shit that is literally guilty in a court of law or a civil court. Like, no, dude, you're like, I'm all about giving people second chances, but you're a murderer that you never admitted your guilt, so there was no remorse from you, and you got off because the prosecution and law enforcement who worked on your case was shit. And even getting away with what's also seemed like a slam dunk of a case, which was also incredible, he still fucked it up and ended up in prison anyway. Like, oh man, fucking the world, man.
Just think that one day she's just going to show up at your house?
No, I sat around yesterday trying to figure out what to do. I'm glad that I ended up seeing my mom, that all of that stuff happened. It happened for a reason, because
you're glad you saw your mom. You could have saw your mom 5 weeks ago and said, Mom, I don't know what...
I saw my mom's reaction right off the bat, and it would have been the same from the get-go.
You wouldn't have cared if your daughter was genuinely missing and you did not kill her. You would have been like, I would have called the police. I would have called my parents. You know what? Like, no. Nothing you're saying adds up. This is such a tragedy, and then the thing is, there was no justice in the tragedy, and that's what makes this so insane. I've watched this with my dad. He's a licensed attorney in 7 states. He has no idea how she didn't get the death penalty in her life. He says it's 100%. That's what I'm saying. I just, again, your dad, but I have no, I don't have a legal degree. I'm not trying to, but like, this just seems so open and shut. I just don't get it.
So wait a minute, you're more afraid of your mom's reaction than you are if you ever see your daughter again?
You know, I'm absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified. I know my mom will never forgive me. I'm never going to forgive myself.
Is it that there's some other thing more important in your life right now?
She doesn't sound bothered. Maybe she sounds bothered if she was like a decent actress in like a community college play, but that's not. You shouldn't even be able to form the words out of your mouth if your kid was. This is incredible.
Focused on what you were saying when you told us, so you kind of just accidentally told us you had an office here and we needed to be here, or did you purposely mislead us? Which of those two is it?
I purposely misled.
Okay, so you purposely misled us. This was all an attempt to help find your daughter, right? That makes.
Why would you mislead? Why would you try to stall police from finding your kid if you actually wanted them to find your kid? The only reason that anyone would do that was because they were trying to mislead them or slow them down because they're guilty and they don't want them to find out. I took a forensic anthropology class in college with lead forensic anthropologist on this case, and he determined 100% chance the child was killed by her, right? Rich, get broken steel for FO3. Gives you real end. What? I'm so confused.
Since you correct?
In a backwards sort of way, yes.
Backwards sort of way?
I'm coming back to places that are familiar to me, that I know are familiar to her. Familiar situations that maybe would help. She's almost 3.
She's almost 3. What do you think, she's going to take a cab here? I mean,
I know
how do you think she's going to get here?
Because she's with someone else.
So why would the other person, if they were, which it didn't happen, who supposedly kidnap your daughter, they're going to go to familiar places if they don't want you to find? Shut the fuck up. I've never paid attention. I've watched this video before, but I didn't pay attention, obviously, to the play-by-play by missing obvious shit before reacting to it. But what the hell?
with someone else who's hid her from you for 5 weeks.
Yes.
Fallout 3 Broken Steel. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Who
sorry.
has hid your daughter from you for 5 weeks, okay? Bring her to the building that you used to work at.
I guess I could become Review Detective USA. Because I'm saying exactly, and it's not that I remember this from watching it. Like, I was probably, like, playing Call of Duty or something while watching this on my, like, listening to this on my phone and wasn't paying attention. But, so...
I don't know what else to do anymore. If I knew where she was, if something would have happened, I would have admitted that a long time ago.
Do you believe thinking up more lies to tell us will help us?
She's with someone that I absolutely do not trust, and that I'm absolutely scared that
you don't trust yet was babysitting your daughter for a year.
I don't trust her now because of what happened.
Who did you call first? Who did you go to for help first to help try to find her?
No one.
Oh, no one. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'm glad we got that straightened out.
Your kid's missing and you went to absolutely no one. Like, what did you just go, oh, my 3-year-old daughter is gone. Guess I'm going to go make a salad and put some chicken on it. You're a disgrace. Like, what did you do? It's like that other Michael Dunn we were watching after he, they had a stick. It may have been a shotgun. So you shot in self-defense, which someone ended up dying. It wasn't self-defense. It was murder. So you think the best thing to do is to go back home or go back to your hotel room and have a pepperoni pizza and a rum and coke? These fucking people, man. You can't make this shit up.
Casey was then taken to the county jail, where she in the evening hours was able to make a phone call, and just happened to see her mother on the local news moments before speaking to her.
Casey? Mom. Hey, sweetie.
Oh, I just saw your nice little cameo on TV.
Which one?
What do you mean, which one?
Which one? I did 4 different ones, and I don't know. I haven't seen them all. I've only seen 1 or 2 so far.
You don't know what my involvement is and stuff?
Casey.
Mom.
This is not how an innocent person acts. It's just not. I cannot comprehend, and I will say this, reviewer say the same fucking thing every 5 minutes. Shut the fuck up, Rich. I wonder if she helped kill Jeffrey Epstein too, because she sure knows how to get away with shit poorly and poorly hide it. I wonder if she was the mastermind behind getting him killed, because she knows how to be like, hey, I did it, but just I don't want to be guilty. All right, cool.
What?
No.
I don't know what your involvement is, sweetheart. You're not telling me where she's at.
I like that the moms at least keep it real. Yeah, like, she's not like it. There's some people who would just be in denial about, oh, even though all the evidence blatant, my kid is lying to law enforcement, she didn't kill her daughter. Like, she's like, no, it's on the table. Like, good. Deservedly fucking so. Is that for PC or for... Because I'm going to play the 360 version backwards compatible at 60 FPS during the holiday season. Me and the birds are going to be celebrating. I'm giving my editor the Christmas week off. So I'm just going to stream a bunch of Fallout 3 with birds. War never changes.
Because I don't f***ing know where she's at. Are you kidding me?
Casey, don't waste your call to scream and holler at me.
Waste my call sitting in the jail?
Whose fault is you sitting in
The forensic anthropologist Professor Ellis said that he believes that the absolute crap experts botched the case. Yeah, I don't get it. There's just something so off with this all around. It's just incredible. It's frustrating because there's an innocent 3-year-old child that was murdered for someone's selfish purposes. She didn't want to deal with her anymore. She wanted to go off with some other guy. Something disgusting. I don't know what it was, but it was along those lines. And there's no justice in this. I know this doesn't happen often this way, but god damn, is it a tragedy when it does.
In the jail, you're blaming me that you're sitting in the jail? Blame yourself for telling lies. You mean it's not your fault? What do you mean it's not your fault, sweetheart? If you'd have told them the truth and not lied about everything, they wouldn't...
Do me a favor, just tell me what Tony's number is. I don't want to talk to you right now.
What a self-absorbed bitch, too.
I don't have his number.
We'll get it from Lee because I know Lee's at the house. Get Tony's number for me.
Hey,
Hey, can you give me Tony's number?
I can do that. I don't know what real good it's going to do you at this point.
Well, I'd like to talk to him anyway.
Okay.
Because I called to talk to my mother and it's waste. Oh, by the way, I don't want any of you coming up here when I have my first hearing for bond and everything else.
I wonder if that's JCS, because he's not really a censorship kind of guy. He actually left a very spicy word in his newest video that I'm gonna have to. It's said twice in there. That's why I was gonna show it tonight, but I'm like, ugh. I'm gonna edit. Everything else is gonna be uncensored, and the dude uses every colorful word in the language. It's just this one word I can't have in there. So I don't think it's JCS that edited stuff out, like fucking. Fucking. I want a movie where Casey goes on a hard-boiled investigation through the seedy underbelly, like Death Wish, then falls, then goes to the cops. She's just a terrible person, man. Yeah, and no justice for her kid either, you know? Why are you still talking? Hey! You know what? Fine. Yeah, now you have the weight on your shoulders. Right?
Like, don't even waste your time coming up here.
You're making it real tough for anybody to want to try to... I'm not going around and around with you. That's pretty pointless. Christina would love to talk to you because she thinks that you will tell her what's going on. Frankly, we're going to find out. Everything she's telling them is a lie.
If I knew where Kaylee was, do you think any of this would be happening? No.
Anyway, you only got a couple minutes for this, so I'm not going to let you completely waste it. Here's Christina. She thinks she can get through.
No, I want Tony's number. I'm not talking to anybody else.
Hello?
Hi, I'm glad everybody's at my house. Do me a favor, get my brother back because I need Tony's number.
Does Tony have anything to do with Kaylee?
No, nothing.
Okay, so why do you want to talk to Tony?
He's my boyfriend, and I want to actually try to sit and talk to him because I didn't get a chance to talk to him earlier because I got arrested on whim today. I just want to talk to Tony and get a little bit of...
Casey,
wow.
You have to tell me if you know anything about Kaylee.
Sweetheart,
if anything happens with Kaylee, Casey, I'll die. You understand? I'll die. If anything happens to that baby.
Oh my god, calling you guys, a waste.
What a narcissistic bitch. No. No, it's not. Dude, anyone with common sense. That's not even a race thing. It's common sense. OJ's, and he's guilty because he lost in the civil case anyway. There was enough evidence. He's fucking guilty. It's if there wasn't a civil case, you could maybe have that small amount of doubt there. No, the motherfucker lost another case. OJ's guilty.
Huge waste.
Casey appeared in the court the next morning and was initially denied bail by the judge. He cited his
What? Like, she's sitting there crying because your daughter is missing. If something happened to Casey, I'll die. And you're like, oh, whatever. What an awful human being. Oh, man, if hell exists, rot in it.
Reason as her undeniable disregard for the welfare of her own child. She was kept in protective custody, and it would be 9 days until she received her first visit from her parents.
Hi. Sweetie, we've been watching you for so long. You haven't? I love you. I love you too. Hi. We've been seeing you sitting down. We forgive anything that you've said or done.
Hold on. Can we turn the volume down? Yeah, you can probably hear it. My head's gonna explode. What's that t-shirt? I didn't get a chance to ask him, other things.
Kaylee's picture's on the back.
Is it? Can Dad show me the shirt?
Yeah, turn around so you can see. It's the Never Lose Hope Foundation. Do you see it?
I can see part of it, yeah.
Have you seen me? And then it has the information on how to contact.
Okay.
Casey, you don't realize that the whole United States is looking for our Kaylee.
I know that one.
Her cover's going to be on People
So
Magazine
insane.
in a few days.
With a readership of over 46 million adults in America, having your missing child on the front cover of People magazine would seem as a godsend to most. Yet Kate...
Yeah, look at her reaction. It's just like, all right. Because she knows that she's dead and because she killed her. Or had her killed. She knows. There's no reaction because she knows there's going to be no outcome from it. She knows what the outcome is. She's trying to sweep the outcome under the rug. And unfortunately, she succeeded. She beat the system.
Casey's response is almost as if it's a lost cause.
Everybody is looking for her.
Good.
Everybody is looking for her. Are we going to be able to find her, do you think?
I hope we can, Mom. No, I didn't get a chance to ask Lee.
Can you look up a little bit more? Raise your eyes up a little bit. There you go. So now, look straight up so I can look into your eyes, darling. Thank you. I need to do that. It's okay to cry, Casey. It's all right, love. We've all been crying.
Setting aside morality and ethics for just a moment.
Yeah, Red Chaos. You didn't know that Casey Anthony got off? Yeah. She got off, man. She got away with it. I don't know how. It's incredible that she did, but she did.
Casey at this point would be emotionally exhausted. She had been sitting in an isolated jail cell for almost 2 weeks as the entire world was turning against her. Anyone in her position, guilty or otherwise, would be at near breaking point, and her composed exterior now finally slips. She, for a brief moment, allows herself to be vulnerable, and for perhaps the first time, expresses the pain of her situation. This is one of the few moments where Casey's true self is on display. Of itself, it's a touching moment between a mother...
Hold that cucumber. Keep it up there. Thank you. Don't talk shit to me. You knew that I was looking for that before, and where the hell was it? And I asked you too. Where is the yodeling cucumber? I don't fucking know. What the fuck? What did you do with it? So now you have to hold on to it. So here, make it yodel. Better not fall off your back. Thank you.
Mother and daughter. Yet if we add in the context of the surrounding elements, she is only expressing this pain for herself. Just a moment ago, when she saw her deceased daughter's face on her father's shirt, none of the...
No reaction. I meant to fucking stop it before with that too, but I'm stoned. No reaction. Nothing. You see your missing child's face and you're just stone face. You are just... Macapaca wants to say hi to Carlos. Well, Macapaca, Carlos says this right back to you. This bird right next to me. This bird right next to me Maybe he'll have to pee. A cucumber I see on this bird next to me. Why don't you go pee? Just spray it freely. This bird right next to me. Carlos P. Let's continue.
This emotion came out.
Casey, I want to ask you just a couple questions.
The rest of the visit is extremely bizarre. Casey's parents try to extract any information they can about Kaylee's possible whereabouts, and each time are essentially dismissed by Casey as if they're asking pointless and irritating questions.
Do we have any pictures of Sandy's apartment?
Ali and I already talked about this. I don't know. It could be on the disc at home. I don't know.
What is your... I can't get...
Yeah, wouldn't you want to discuss more information to help find your child if, you know, didn't already know that she's dead? I would be pretty intense on passing along information to family and friends if I was innocent and, God forbid, one of my children went missing. But that's me. Call me crazy. Where she's like, anyway, back to talking about me because I don't give a shit about the child that I killed. God damn.
Get into your...
I gave Lee everything already. I gave Lee all of the passwords, everything we could possibly
I want to get...
all over again.
Thank God Sean McCarthy went to buy that.
Kaylee, because the video clip with Grandpa is really helping people. Still pictures don't show...
No, they don't show her personality.
Right. And we
I gotta watch with my Facebook.
So I need to make sure we can...
Because there is always a chance that Google Fish will send me a picture randomly during the day of a man's hairy ass, and then I may, if I have my monitors off, my entire stream would probably get taken down because everyone would see a man's hairy ass. But now that I'm thinking about RGT85's hairy ass was on the Spawncast, so I probably would be okay. And that man has a lot of hair in his crack. RGT85 has a hairy crack exposed.
That password.
Yeah. I gave Lee the password.
Birds.
I need to see your eyes.
I want to be able to look at you guys too. I can't look at you and look at the camera.
Well, you don't have to look at the camera. Look at me.
I'm looking at you.
Okay.
You're sitting very low.
I know.
The exchange switches back and forth from inquisitive and challenging to sympathetic and loving, and every time her parents stop inquiring over the case and show that they still care about Casey herself is when the tears come out.
Do you want to speak to your father now?
Sure.
Okay.
Hey, gorgeous, how you doing?
I look like hell.
Well, you know something? You really need to keep your spirit high for all this.
I haven't been crying while I've been in here.
Well, you know
trying
something?
to read books and do other things to keep my mind off of stuff.
Well, you know, I want to be able to reach out and hug you and give you the big Papa Joe hug.
I thought he was going to say the big Papa John's hug. I want a big hug from Papa John. I want him to feed me pizza. I know he's not part of Papa John's anymore. I still want him to feed me pizza, though. What did he get caught doing? Saying some stupid racist shit? I just thought of that now. What did he get caught doing? Saying some stupid racist shit during like a conference call? Papa John's face, it looks like he dips his face in olive oil before he goes on an interview. Like he said, he's about to do an interview, like to talk about what happened. He's like, wait, hold on, I have to dip my face in olive oil. All right, let's go. Let's go. Eat my pizza.
But you know, I
Yeah, he said the N-word. Like multiple times too. It wasn't just like he didn't pull like a PewDiePie. Like it was like like machine gunning it, right? I'm pretty sure.
we got to get that little girl back any way we can, and we're doing everything we can.
My only concern. I gave Lee a statement. I want him to speak to whoever in the media, give them a statement specifically from me.
gonna eat the cucumber off your back soon.
Every time Casey's parents mention that people are willing to help with the search, Casey dismisses their credibility and even attacks some of their characters while she's at it.
Tara? Tara from Michigan. You mean Mark's psycho ex-wife, Tara? Yes. Listen. People like Tara, people like Jesse who are maybe trying...
Like, she's trying to shoot down the help. Like, the less eyes, the more chance she can get away with it. And unfortunately, it worked. What a vile human being.
Trying to help. Even Christina, God bless her. Don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Feed me a pickle.
I want to take your pain away from you. So, you can tell me anything.
Take my pain away, Carlos.
I miss you, sweetie.
I know that. I miss you too.
I wish
Birds.
I could have been a better dad and better grandpa, you know?
You've been a great dad and you've been the best grandfather. Don't for a second think otherwise.
Well, you know...
Oh, no, you... I mean, people make their own choices, but they kind of had a little bit of issues with parenting when you're like, oh, Casey, you didn't go to half of your senior year of high school and didn't graduate and now no longer going to get a high school degree. We'll just pretend you did and still throw you a party. I mean, I'm far from a perfect parent too. I'm a human being, but that's something I wouldn't do. That's kind of an oops. A little bit of an oops.
You and Mom have been the best grandparents. Kaylee's been so lucky. Kaylee is so lucky to have both of you. I can't even put into words how glad I am that she's had both of you. And that she still has both of you.
Birds. I don't know if she was an only child. Kind of seems like it.
Is empty without both of you there. It's empty.
Birds. Birds.
All the little things we took for granted, we miss them so much.
That's exactly how I feel.
Of course they know. Of course. They're like hoping against hope. But it's just so obvious. I mean, I'm sure it is a bitter pill to swallow that your child murdered your granddaughter. I'm sure. I can't even imagine how that even remotely feels. But, of course they know. Come on. Of course they know.
I ate coleslaw today. Tell them I ate coleslaw.
Well, you probably eat a lot of things you never used to eat before because when you're hungry, you'll eat.
I hated bologna. I've been eating bologna and cheese on occasion. Grits. I don't do grits at all. It's terrible.
Well, you know what? You're going to eat what's in front of you.
We get another glimpse at Casey's skill in fabricating information and her ability to intertwine specific details to afford her lies some credibility. These minor intricacies are what would make her extremely convincing if we didn't happen to know otherwise.
They never searched by her full name. They searched by Zenaida Fernandez, whereas Zenaida Gonzalez never by her full name.
And it's Z-E-N.
Z-E-N-A-I-D-A. I don't think she has a middle name. There was never a middle name on anything that I remember seeing. And I know she went by both last names. She always has. Since she was younger, since her mom.
No, she's not locked up. She was acquitted. I cannot compute and fathom how. Maybe I need to watch as Not Stoned, and maybe they'll be like, oh, all right. It's obvious that she's guilty, but this was the loophole. But I don't see where I don't see how this is anything but open and shut. Call me insane. I mean, I'm just a man who talks to porcelain make-believe birds. Handsome birds, though.
Remarried.
So Flores Gonzalez, you don't know what her stepdad.
Fernandez Gonzalez.
But you don't know what Fernandez Gonzalez.
I think her dad's first name is Victor?
I just burped a cucumber on you. That's my secret weapon. Fear my power. Don't stop! No. Don't do it. You almost made me knock over the goddamn switch. Keep the cucumber on your back, please. Thank you. You know what? Enough. Shut up! I'll be right back. Don't you stay down there. The fuck are you looking at? Oh. Don't worry, everything came out fine. You don't have to ask. I'm good. You're really a piece of shit, you know that? Fuck you too. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, to wash your balls. Oh. I didn't take a dump.
Her stepdad, or that could be her real dad, but I remember her saying Victor. Victor and Gloria were her parents.
Victor and Gloria are her parents, but they're separated.
God damn, I love birds.
They are as of now, yeah. That was her stepdad.
I love
I know she has
birds.
a lot of money. That's where she got the car from.
I only get one or two phone calls a day that, that are not nice phone calls, but I get many, many, many phone calls and many people reaching out.
This is
that just believe in you.
incredible how someone
us finding Kaylee. Okay, so keep your head up high.
so guilty.
But if you think of anything that could help,
DSP is going to turn Carlos into a pulsating sandwich. Pulsating sandwich. Pulsating sandwich. Pulsating, disgusting, smelly sandwich. That's what he's pulsating, disgusting. It sounds like he was talking about some really fucking kinky fucking porn, man. Yeah, it was pulsating and throbbing. and oozing like Ben Shapiro's penis looking at his wife's dry-ass pussy. They fucking sound exact. You could swap their voices, man, and they would almost sound exactly the same. Except Phil sounds like a really horny Viking, because I know exactly. I know exactly what horny Vikings sound like. But when Phil gets like, "Oh, watch your balls." Well, except when Phil, they sound similar. Except when Phil gets like that, he kind of sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, wash your balls, ah! Wash your balls, ah! Yo, he does. He sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Don't be afraid.
Oh, I won't hesitate to let you guys know.
You have to keep thinking positive feelings, Casey.
Oh, I know, I have been. I've been staying as positive as I can.
If Ben Shapiro, like in the future, like, I would not be shocked at all. If Ben Shapiro, like he divorces his wife, not wishing that on him, but if this alternate future happened, and Ben Shapiro came out like 10 years from now, like, yeah, I've been gay my entire life, but I was in complete denial about it. That's why I was a conservative and just spitting a bunch of bullshit. I guarantee that won't happen, but if it did happen, not one cell in my body would be shocked. 2 edibles in. I understand the birds. Now, of course you understand. You gonna fucking behave? That was some bullshit, man. Seriously. I'm too stoned to remember what you did, but whatever you did, it was fucked up. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, I pushed the mic with my nose. What the fuck are you going to say about it? You're a bird.
But do you think after this long she'd still be local?
There's a possibility.
What's your gut telling you right now?
My gut's telling me that she's okay.
Okay. And your gut tells you that she's close or somewhere?
I'll be back with more soap to
Wash your balls.
Yeah, I got the timing down right. I forgot about this. Thank you for updating the driver of the Stream Deck so it doesn't have latency when I hit the buttons. That was actually very nice of you. Bird breast.
She's hiding.
She's not far. I know in my heart she's not far. I can feel it.
Casey Anthony.
This was perhaps the first.
She murdered her daughter and literally got acquitted of it. There was some spice that came up with that second one. What happened there? I'm tasting something. I didn't want that. Fuck birds.
Time Casey told the truth when speaking of her daughter's
You can take that one out of context. ReviewTechUSA says fuck birds exposed. Man, there's so much shit, man. There's so many gotchas in my streams that I'm sure that someone could put together compilations for years to come. Why do you come?
You blew it.
I have a big cock next to me. See, you can take that one out of there. Yeah, see? Yeah, big cock. Big cock.
Whereabouts, as she indeed wasn't that far away. Her attorney, Jose Baez, eventually managed to get her bail, and Casey was fitted with an electronic monitoring device and released on August 21st. She
looks like she has a toupee on her head.
Had spent just over 1 month in custody. 2 months later, police were granted permission to arrest Casey on the charge of first-degree murder. She was taken in for interrogation, but immediately requested her right to counsel. She was kept in the interview room while awaiting her attorney, and the released footage of that period is so bizarre to the point where it's almost comical. The detectives give off a passive, yet glaringly obvious vibe that lets Casey know exactly what they think. being that she is guilty of her daughter's probable death and a fundamentally terrible human being on every imaginable level. Casey's response to this,
that you could pretty much sum up this entire case right there,
is to essentially ignore it and act as if the discourse between them and the situation itself is an everyday occurrence, one that perhaps doesn't concern the disappearance of her daughter, for which she is being charged for. You'll notice that she effortlessly maintains the same confident and talkative disposition that she had in her previous interviews with police. It's almost surreal to watch given the circumstance, and the visual element adds an entire new level to the absurdity. The first segment of footage shows the arresting officer waiting with Casey for the lead investigator to arrive. He initiates the conversation by bringing up the subject of Casey's parents. He asserts that he's worried about them, but the actual message he's putting across is that he essentially knows Casey is guilty and that she isn't fooling anyone. It's an indirect yet obvious accusation.
I was afraid that some of what I said to them probably offended them because I told them that if I find out something that you don't want to hear, I'm going to tell you anyway.
Well,
Just
honestly,
because-
they'll respect that. That's just, you know, the type of people that they are in the same way.
I know they are. It was never my intention to piss anybody in your family off.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in it to get a conviction. I get nothing out of it. I get zero.
Exactly. You have a job you're trying to do.
I've found a few, and I've not found a few, and it sucks both ways.
Yeah, I agree.
So it is what it is. Where I get sideways with people tends to be when attorneys get involved.
I've heard most people say that. They don't like attorneys very much.
I have many family members that are attorneys. I have no problems with attorneys. What I have problems with are, at some point, we have to set aside the rules and we have to find kids. And you know what? So be it. That's why I told you in the car. You know, if you tell me anything now, I'll get up and say, yep, I heard it, and she'd already invoked it. We can't use any of it. That's just the way it is. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
The detective here has essentially just asked Casey for the information he knows she has about her missing child. Rather than retaliate and refute the blatant accusation, Casey continues with her sharp responses of accordance.
I'll go halfway with you on that. I'll give you... and I'll give you the moan.
Oh!
Because we'd be here for like 10 minutes with all of them.
As if to say she agrees, and knows exactly where the detective is coming from. Yet although she apparently agrees, she offers no information or follow-up dialogue thereafter. It's so incredibly awkward, yet equally intriguing to watch.
And, you know, when we did the...
She's shooting down whatever opportunities that she's getting for help. Because she knows there's nothing to help, because she knows exactly what happened to her daughter.
Another case that I was involved in, you know, they lost a confession. And I sat there and I looked right at the guys that we worked with. I said,
That's not what's important.
who cares?
Yeah.
We found her. We found her, and he's going to get what is coming to him. That's not my job. You know, and it works out in the end.
Case is closed. Yeah,
end,
she was
on all
acquitted.
sides, to be honest.
Absolute failure.
It may not be comfortable for everybody.
Yeah.
And I've done things that if I get caught for, I'm not going to be comfortable, I can tell you that. It's just the way life is. You know, but it's not the end of the road either. And that's what we have to keep in mind. It's not the end of the road. You know?
Casey then casually brings up the topic of the grand jury,
adding absolutely nothing. You're innocent. You're going to want to talk about this as much as possible. You're being dismissive of what he's discussing because you don't want to add anything to it, because you want to make sure you're trying your damnedest to not incriminate yourself and also lead them all. Like, what person wanting to find somebody brings them to a place that has nothing to do with it and misleads detectives? Only guilty people do that. This is a case that someone with, like I said, a double-digit IQ, it should have been a slam dunk with no law degree. This fake cock next to me, this would be an open and shut case for this bird. But somehow, here we are.
and the media surrounding her murder trial. She raises the questions as if she's talking about her favorite daytime TV show.
Yeah,
But if the subpoena itself is just a regular federal or
certain
grand
things
jury
are
subpoena, that's public
public
record.
knowledge, yeah.
It doesn't say
Understanding
what
birds.
it's for. It doesn't say what case it's in. It doesn't. It just says you're subpoenaed to appear before the grand jury.
Well, with them announcing that, you know, there was going to be a grand jury, and obviously my name was thrown out, and they knew who the grand jury was for.
Who threw your name out?
All of the media said that it was from an inside source, meaning in here. So that's where they all say is.
I can tell you
getting
what I
their
think
sources
of the
from.
media and what I think of people who leak stuff to the media.
I think it's garbage. Yeah,
But
I agree. That's the
that
next way of
doesn't.
putting
That
it.
doesn't.
Talks about her. She opens right up. Talks about her kid. She has like next to nothing to say.
Doesn't make it any less necessary. Without them, I'll be quite honest, without the media, we don't find
You're
a
a
quarter
man.
of the kids that we
Oh, I
are
agree.
looking
It
for.
helps. The exposure has
You're a
helped
man.
bring in so many tips for my daughter.
But
You're a man.
at the same time, what it creates is it
You're
creates
a
a
man.
monster that otherwise isn't necessary.
Exactly.
The tips are what the tips are.
Ass.
If it was a local media only, it would be much easier to work.
Yeah.
When you make it the national media, then you come up
You
with
get the Nancy Graces.
well, you get the
everything
well, you
else.
get the tips also that come from Hawaii. That's
Absolutely insane. She's totally off the mark as to what she can't even pretend to be concerned about the right things. It's just so incredible. It's so incredible.
I saw Kaylee. Oh, really? Okay, let me call Hawaii and let me.
It just makes me want to just quit watching this and just spoon in bed with my 8 terabytes of gaming storage that I have in this Aya Neo next to me. I absolutely love it. It is going to be the most awkward product to talk about. Like awkward, like I shoved the bird up my ass while filming the review, kind of awkward. You may be going in a hole. But luckily, this is a family-friendly stream, and that would never happen here on ReviewTechUSA. We're here for the family. We're here for the friends. People drink eggnog and watch us discuss things. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but you're a bird and go fuck yourself.
Send them out.
Georgia
Let me do
and
that.
Ones that are a little bit closer.
Those are what I
range.
consider local because the,
Yeah.
the local
It's in
stations
close
are going to
range.
cover that.
Yeah.
That's contiguous to the state of Florida. It's not.
When people are only getting their information from the Nancy Graces or from Globe magazine or People or, you know, stuff like that.
Give us a fuck where they're if your child was actually missing and you didn't know where they were, the more places the name is in this situation, the better. Who the fuck cares who's talking about it?
Are you kidding me?
You're not gonna break bad, right? Alright. We're gonna call him on my cell phone.
Okay. I know this is, oh, yeah, that's not good.
Pull it back there. Just slide your hand out. No,
I-
I'll go get a key
I
to
honest-
fix.
Oh, I wouldn't drink that shit now because that'll just looking at that, my man titties would grow a cup size. But on Christmas Eve, I'm gonna have that with some rum in it. I'm gonna get drunk, and you better not take advantage of me. You understand me? You know I don't play games.
Actually can't, so they're a little tight.
Thanks for entertaining us. Just slide your hand out.
Actually, if I could, I would have done that for you.
Do you know Baez's phone number off the top of your head?
No, I do
How can we get the cell number or his number?
not. I know his office number,
What is that?
407.
I've identified myself. You know why you're in custody.
Yes.
And you signed this. You want your attorney present.
Yes. Hey, it's Casey. I'm with Corporal Edwards. I know the last name, sorry. I'm at the Sheriff's Department if you'd like to come down and speak with us. Thank you. Yes. To answer your other question, from that picture, I cut my hair. It was really short. Even last year, I just turned growing it back out this year, so
Okay.
just about that.
The fuck does it have to do? She's worrying about what she looks like? Eggnog seltzer? No.
Honestly.
It's smooth and creamy and I want it in my throat. I don't want eggnog seltzer. That would be fucking weird. I would probably try it out of curiosity, but the birds probably would tell me the flavor was just not where it needs to be. And the birds no flavor. The birds know it. He's the Gordon Ramsay of poultry.
I only saw from the media and got a chance to hear him talking to my mom. I spoke to him last night and this morning for just a quick second before he left, so.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning for a little bit. He was with Mark, and he was really struggling. I mean, I can imagine he was having a hard time. He was being called in to essentially provide testimony to indict you, to at least, and he was really struggling with that.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for him, to be honest with you. I truly did.
Well, I even told him last night. I know he was subpoenaed, and under the law, he had to answer whatever questions were asked him, and I told him to do what he had to do.
Imagine you were Casey, but void of any wrongdoing whatsoever. Your daughter was kidnapped 5 weeks ago, and now a detective who thinks you're the culprit is relaying the agonizing moments of your father providing information for your arrest. No matter how stoic or self-controlled your nature, you would most likely be in tears or completely enraged at the overwhelming unjustness of the situation.
You anxious about today at all?
I have been.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
I mean, this is
Yeah,
something,
that's an
honestly, we've been
emergency.
preparing for from the beginning, just
With
because of
Panda Lee.
words that were directly spoken from
I just rhymed.
Yuri Melich and also from Sergeant Allen. They were saying that this is what they were planning on doing from the very beginning, from that first day. So they wrote me off within the first couple hours. That was the only time they ever made any effort to try to talk to me one-on-one. And
No, it was kind of difficult.
that was kind of difficult considering.
Well, considering, obviously, in light of everything that's going on and the fact that you've been arrested for other things, makes it a little more difficult to sit down and even talk to you.
Mhm.
It's not that we haven't wanted to.
Yeah. But I do have counsel, and that's something that, my attorney's always been a phone call away.
Has your attorney ever told you that we would like to speak to you?
And we had agreed, him and I together, that we would all sit down together, him and I, and you guys, and, we'd entertain whatever questions you have, and
There is no possible way that a defense attorney would actually sit down and, as Casey states, entertain any question the police have for them. Yet if we weren't paying close attention, we would take her at her word due to the eloquence of her dialogue and not realize everything she's saying is complete nonsense.
I actually thought that we made it pretty clear that, we wanted to talk to you. I mean, obviously, we can't come to you and ask you.
Yeah, understandably.
I thought that you were aware that if you wanted to talk to anybody, that all you got to do was simply ask.
Yeah, well, I know it goes both ways on that, and I guess it would have needed to come from me. I should have been the one to have, come forward with it, but, we did open up that door too long.
No, I read your Ezra Bones. I just read it.
Enforcement before, when Sergeant Allen was making a big deal saying, well, we want to talk to her. When can we talk to her? And he's saying, well, the door's open.
Oh, you made this animation.
What's fascinating
not
is
one
how
of- okay.
instinctive and confident her assertions are. In any other circumstance, or even without the knowledge we have now, you would have no reason not to believe everything she's saying.
I've heard the words come out of his mouth, even myself, directed to other people that maybe didn't either relay the message or took it a different way, so I don't know. I think the lack of communication has put people in opposite corners when everybody has the same goal, is to find Kaylee. We all still feel, I as a mom, I know.
Bullshit. Your goal was to put them in a wild goose chase for as long as possible, and sadly it worked.
In my gut, there's the feeling.
In the end, you got everything you wanted. You ended your daughter's life because you're a selfish bitch and didn't want to deal with her. And you have your freedom. The whole world hates you. But
As a parent, you know certain things about your child, you can feel that connection. And I still have that feeling, that presence. I know that she's alive. Whether you have a bucket load of evidence downstairs that contradicts that and says otherwise, or all you have is speculation, or nothing at all. I mean,
we had more than speculation.
As every tip and
that's
every
something
lead
I told
followed
Jose
up on.
directly.
Yeah.
That we have more than speculation. We have a lot, or else we wouldn't be to this point.
Mm-hmm.
A lot.
This was essentially a direct confrontation. The detective has just told Casey they have sufficient evidence to prove her guilt. Casey doesn't refute or even respond to the accusation. She instead falls back to her ridiculous dialogue once again, hoping the confidence in her voice will mask the absurdity of what she's actually saying.
Well, I said the same thing to them, that, you know, they said that we're at the end of a hallway, and I'm thinking we're at the end of a hallway and there's two doors. Which door are we going to go through? Or I guess this is, you know, we're at this point, and
we are at this point where
the final step is...
What the fuck does that even mean? What does that even mean? I gotta open StreamLabs. Thank you. I see a StreamLabs came in. Let me go there. It's like, who's messaging me? Recent events. Hey, remember the time that when she said she wanted to become a lawyer? Dude. This is incredible. Like, what does this have to do with anything? So, like, she's like, and she just spewing nonsense. Like, well, if unicorn shit in my mouth, I would swallow it and struggle through the flavor because it doesn't taste good. Ma'am, I just said I have enough evidence to indict you on the disappearance of your daughter. Well, an iguana did lick my butthole, and I had drank pickle juice the night before. You have the right to remain silent. Why is it not working? Oh, here we go. Wait, maybe.
Is which door is locked?
We are well beyond where we were before. I mean, those issues are gone, okay? And when you refer to we're at the end of the hallway, I think you are well aware of what hallway we're talking about. Do you understand that?
Well, so there's no question, I guess. You can specify that at this point. Or what your perspective is on that.
You have a second?
Absolutely.
Can we come right back?
Yeah, that's fine.
You plan on running off?
I'm not going anywhere.
So I gotta stretch out a little bit. I'm not as young as I used to be.
It's unfortunate that right when the pressure was starting to build, the second detective interrupts the exchange and they both leave the room soon after. Casey waits alone for roughly 40 minutes before her attorney shows up.
He's going to ask you a question. You don't say anything else other than the answer. Okay?
Casey, based on our conversation today, and I read you that form, based just same thing I said to Mr. Baez over the phone. If there's been numerous requests for opportunities to speak with us and come to a resolution here. And that's why we brought you here instead of the jail. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, based on your request for us to call him and bring him here, he's here. So what we're going to try to do is give you a few minutes somewhere that's not recorded. No secrets, I told you. This room's recorded. I have to be able to approach my chain and explain why.
The detective now guilefully takes Casey up on her previous offer, where she insisted they were willing to sit down with police and answer questions.
But first, I needed you to tell him, in your own words, if you will, that you'd like to take the opportunity to deal with us like you've made that request in the past. So, is that something you want to tell him?
I told him the same thing we talked about before, that we would entertain any questions that they have. We would listen,
and discuss it. And if
The
we have
interrogation
something
is making
to
my
respond,
hemorrhoids
we'll
flare
respond.
up again.
Okay, do you want to speak to me in private?
Yes.
So we can clarify
Thank
this.
you, that was incredible.
It would come as no surprise that no conference was to be had. Casey was instead taken to the county jail, where she would remain for 2.5 years awaiting trial. Once this footage was released to the public domain...
Which one is that? Is that the new 8K one that they have? I don't know too much about that model. The TCL6, the 8K TV, I don't care about 8K. But the other features with it seem really nice.
The consensus was that Casey at best was a cold-hearted mother, and at worst, a hideous, despicable murderer. But what's curious is...
Yeah, she's either a she doesn't look good at this either way. Even by some laughably off chance, if she wasn't guilty, she's just a neglectful, shitty, horrible human being and of a mother.
Is that all?
I've had good luck with TCL. Just make sure it has the features like for HDMI 2.1, like 4K 120, variable refresh rate, Dolby Atmos, blah, 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 blah. The whole list goes. Auto low latency mode, chicken pecking corn out of your hole mode. That's an important one. That's an exclusive to, I believe, Samsung, though. They have birds that'll peck corn out of your hole if you purchase a Samsung television with QLED technology. Yeah, right. But she didn't spread her cheeks and go to town. JJ, she got off. She didn't.
Spread your cheeks and just go to town.
She got off.
Although these opinions may be accurate, they came from a completely misguided notion, being that her behavior in the footage was entirely genuine. Casey was in all likelihood being completely fake this entire time. So you might be curious as to why a person would actually fake such a poised temperament, when it would be far more fitting to fake...
Massive dumps. I was the most amazing one-term president. Believe me, and my penis is huge. Don't listen to Marco Rubio. Big spray tan. A big, tremendously wet spray tan cock. I'm the bigger cock here, believe me.
Sadness and despair. We all have aspects to ourselves that are ungenuine to a certain degree. How we act at a business dinner won't be the way we are at home with our close friends or family. The more comfortable the setting...
Well, that is partially untrue. He is right, though. I'm just being an asshole. I would fart at a business meeting. I would just...
Spread your cheeks and just go to town.
And let the methane just fly all around. Never trust a person with two. Yeah, pretty much. Like if Bob Phil lives down the street, like, you know he's sketchy. If you have two first names, you're sketchy. Bob Phil. Like if you imagine if a guy was named Rich Dick. Hi, my name is Rich Dick. And my dick is rich in manliness. Manly cock.
The more we can be ourselves. Those educated on Casey's past would assert that she was rarely sad.
Rich, would you fart at a business meeting? Yes. Liar. No, I wouldn't actually, like... No, I have etiquette. Actually, that's not true. I purposely farted in a grocery store with intro guy to embarrass him. He ran like I had a fire up his ass. Yo, I was just like, we were at Hannaford's, and I was just like, oh, he was like, God fucking damn it, man. And he just like scooted down there. He was like, I want nothing to goddamn do with you. You fuck yourself and fuck your ass. Rich Dick has entered the chat. Perhaps. I'll check it out first. Haven't seen it.
Rarely angry,
JJ.
but always this bubbly and agreeable personality, even when it didn't suit the situation. She was one of those people where something just seemed off, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. The evidence put forward suggests that Casey was fake in every single setting and with every single person all of the time. A trait that might go unnoticed in everyday life, yet would clearly stand out when shown under the microscope of a criminal case study. Casey had become so accustomed to this fraudulent way of being that it even came as a natural behavior to her in the extraordinary setting we see here. And the assertion is that because Casey knew just how well she could fabricate this character, she thought she could use it to mask her anxiety, and thus conceal guilty behavior. Casey, in all likelihood, had little to no regard for her daughter. That's not even an argument anymore. But her
Obviously, yeah.
true temperament here would likely be far more apprehensive due to the concern over her own welfare. Every time the detective insinuated an accusation, Casey kept the same tone, same demeanor, and same confident, lighthearted disposition. If you took her out of this interrogative setting and placed her in the mall with her friends, it would seem completely normal. She would be faking her personality in both environments, yet we are only able to realize it in one. This type of mindset is linked to sociopathy. Whatever the situation or circumstance, they need to have an advantage over you. So how do they do this? They lie, and also calculate how they are going to feel and react to a certain situation before it occurs. The entirety of her focus was on making herself look good.
He lost his license. Yeah, remember that was a big thing, Octomom? Yeah, I remember that. I don't know too much about that. Very weird story, though.
Rather than being worried about the actual quality of her character. Casey, in a nutshell, was an inauthentic person, long before she ever gave birth to her ill-fated daughter. And her skill at deception alongside her manufactured personality is arguably the most terrifying part of this entire case. On December 11th, 2008, just under 5 months since she was reported missing, Kaylee's skeletal remains were discovered in a swamp less than a mile away from the Anthony household. She was wrapped in a Winnie the Pooh blanket and then placed in a canvas laundry bag. Duct tape was discovered around the nose and mouth area of the skull, and her death was ruled a homicide. Prosecutors in the case then announced they would be seeking the death penalty. There were a multitude of discoveries made in the lead-up to the trial, and many believe
what a brutal murder that was, too.
Believed it to be an open and shut case due to the damnatory nature of the evidence. On the last day Kaylee was seen alive by anyone other than her mother, and the day many believed she was murdered, Casey Anthony made the following internet searches.
Jesus Christ. How?
At 7:54 p.m. that same evening, Casey and her boyfriend Tony were seen in a Blockbuster video store. Kaylee was nowhere in sight, and many presume she was already dead and decomposing in Casey's trunk at this point. In the following weeks, Casey went out partying most nights. Just 3 days after her daughter's supposed abduction, she was captured in various photos participating in a hot body contest.
How can, just smear the guilt on? Not only do I, yes, I went to a hot body contest 3 days after my daughter went missing, meaning I murdered her. What the living fuck, man? It just doesn't get any more ridiculous than this. Did you hear about the TikTok trend where tomorrow kids worldwide are threatening a mass amount of school? People are insane, dude. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. Speaking of hot body contest, well, here come the nips. What does your dad do for a living? He takes off his shirt like an asshole on live streams.
12 days after, she got a tattoo on her back saying Bella Vita, an Italian motto that translates beautiful life. She also made an entry in
it just doesn't fit. It's just so obvious.
her diary around the same time, which read, "I completely trust my own judgment, and I knew that I made the right decision. This is the happiest that I've been in a very long time."
Lawyer blinks or a judge mistrial. I can't wait to. I forgot what caused the mistrial, but it's probably something so fucking ridiculously weak that it's going to be infuriating. So I don't remember, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling it. So prepare to shit. Like I'm probably, you may hear this come out of my ass, and it's not just going to be the fart. It's going to be the turd. It's going to be the turd. I'm going to have turd rage like DSP. We're going to bomb. I know it was an acquittal, but I have to find out what got her off.
I hope that my happiness will continue to grow. The trial commenced on May 24th, 2011. The gist of the prosecution's argument was that Casey suffocated her daughter with duct tape and then placed her in the trunk for a few days before disposing of her body in the swamp. The motive for the murder was the primary focus during their opening statement.
This isn't just a case about Casey Marie Anthony. It's a story about Kaylee Anthony as well. Kaylee Anthony was born on August 9th of 2005. It was a Tuesday.
She'd be 16. She'd be about
Kaylee
16
lived
now.
nearly every day of her life on a quiet residential street in Orlando called Hope Spring Drive. Casey Anthony, Kaylee's mother, appeared to all outward observers to be what her parents thought she was. A loving mother working hard to provide support for her daughter. But as the evidence in this case and the investigation into the background of Casey Anthony will show, that was an illusion. On Monday, June 16th, Cindy Anthony goes to work, as I've described, sometime between 7 and 8 a.m., and is out of the house until late evening. George Anthony specifically recalls that at 12:50 p.m. on June 16th of 2008, his daughter Casey...
I'd love to see what the lawyers said when they convened. Not lawyers. I mean the jury. Like, what? We'll find out, I guess, though. Hey, Rich, I got stuck at work for 30 minutes because my locker locked me out. I left my keys and wallet inside. Can I get an audience and DSP laugh because you can tell the dark side fail, Burnell. Yes, of course you can. Horses, birds.
left the residence on Hope Spring Drive with Kaylee Marie Anthony. Kaylee was wearing a pink shirt.
Yeah, but dude, she's a monster.
Jean shorts, sunglasses.
Like this, I already knew she was monstrous, but I did not know it was like at this level. This is absolutely incredible. This is one of the biggest failings of my justice system, quite possibly. It's up there. There's been many things that are far worse, but this is incredible.
And a backpack.
This is like in the top 100 failures of the justice system, maybe. Maybe I'm a little off the mark there, but still.
And JoJo, George Anthony, kissed his granddaughter goodbye and never saw her again. In fact, no one but Casey Anthony ever
No, we'll find out.
saw Kaylee Marie Anthony alive again. The evidence in this case will establish that there is no other reason for the placement of multiple pieces of duct tape on this child's face, mouth, and nose other than the specific intent to end that child's life. No one but Casey Anthony had access to all the pieces of evidence in this case. The duct tape, the laundry bag, the blanket, the shorts, the shirt, the...
Appearing offline does not fucking stop it.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait. Where is it?
Look here! Look, listen!
Always remember to look. I saw some people having surveys. What if you're a Wings of Redemption? What would you do? Appear offline or look here, look, listen? And people were voting on it. Like, why is this survey coming up in my... Like, that's the thing. YouTube's funny, man. You watch a video, and then it's like, hey, here's all this weird shit from other troll channels that you want nothing... I'm like, no, just because I see a video of Wings, I don't want, like, surveys of what these fucking trolls are up to.
The car. No one else lied to their friends, to their family, to investigators. No one else benefited from the death of Kaylee Marie Anthony.
It's such an
Kaylee's
obvious
death allowed
case.
Casey Anthony to live a good life, at least for those 31 days.
Although there was a lack of direct physical evidence tying the defendant to her daughter's death, the evidence the state actually had still seemed overwhelming, and they understandably thought relying on the facts alone would easily secure a conviction. The defense, on the other hand, were up against it. So not only did they use charm and appeal to sway the jury's attention away from the evidence, they dropped an absolute bombshell in their opening statements to create as much doubt as humanly possible.
On behalf of the defense, I want to thank you for the sacrifice that you've made in your jury service and coming here and helping us see justice. We know it's no easy task, and we intend, I'm sure both sides, on getting you home as quickly as possible once you have all of the information that you need. Everyone wants to know what happened. How in the world can a mother wait 30 days before ever reporting her child missing?
Yeah, please explain it to me, Chief. Give me some equitable reason that will totally disavow all of the obvious evidence that's there.
Insane. It's bizarre. Something's just not right about that. Well, the answer is actually relatively simple.
Oh, please.
She never was missing. Kaylee Anthony died on June 16, 2008, when she drowned in her family's swimming pool. Well, the reason we're all here is because not of the commonality of this tragedy, but of the uniqueness of the family that it happened to. You will hear about ugly things, secret things, things that people don't speak about, things that Casey never spoke about. On June 16, 2008,
Guarantee you the lawyer told her to look distressed at that point. And see, she's a sociopath, so she could do it probably on the fly.
after Kaylee died, Casey did what she's been doing all her life.
So why was there tape on Kaylee's mouth? She drowned in a pool. Why did the tape need to go there after? Like, no. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Or for most of it.
Bullshit.
Hiding her pain. Going into that dark corner and pretending that she does not live in the situation that she's living in. This family must keep its secrets quiet.
He's also opening, oh, that's why she was out partying. Because she was trying to hide from her pain. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way any sane person, if they knew something like that happened to their child, could function and go to a hot body contest, to be in a hot body contest 3 days after their fucking child was drowned. Get the hell out of here.
And it all began when Casey was 8 years old and her father came into her room and began to touch her inappropriately. This child, who at 8 years old, learned to lie immediately. She could be 13 years old, have her father's penis in her mouth, and then go to school and play with the other kids as if nothing ever happened. That will help you understand why no one knew that her child was dead.
The trial would go on to last 6 weeks.
Review Trump USA, it's tremendous, but wait a second.
With the prosecution exposing the truly dark and deceptive nature of Casey's character. While the state relied on fact, the defense clung on.
But her being molested is horrible. Still doesn't sidestep any of the stuff that obviously makes her guilty of murdering her child, though. Dude, Seb Carlson, that's a weird-ass question, man. Oh my God, stop. She lied about being molested? No.
To theory, and proposed every conspiracy under the sun in the hope they would create enough skepticism and confusion. One of the more noted details of the trial was the courtroom presence of Jose Baez.
And her family, she lied about it, and her family still fucking talks. So think about this perfect storm of evil child that you created. She killed your granddaughter, and then to save her own ass, lied and said that you molested her? Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
He had an exceptional ability of narrative control and storytelling, and his capacity to create a connection with a jury seemed far more adequate than that of the state. This was recognized and mentioned multiple times in the media, yet the overwhelming majority of those following the case were almost certain that it wouldn't be enough to save the defendant. Closing arguments were put forward on Sunday, the 3rd of July.
When you have a child, that child becomes your life. This case is about the clash between that responsibility and the expectations that go with it and the life that Casey Anthony wanted to have. Casey meets Tony. Tony has this life. He's free. He's a club promoter. He's out there at night with the loud music and dancing, and it's a great.
I don't know. I got to confirm if she lied about being that, because that is insane.
Free life. So she has a choice. A life tethered to a child, or a life free to be 22. And as hard as it is for anyone to imagine, she had to choose between sacrificing two things. The first was her dreams and the life she wanted. And the second was her child. And we submit to you the evidence in this case shows that the choice she made was her child.
Here we are at the end of our journey. And I have to tell you that I probably think you have more questions than you have answers. And if you recall at opening statements, the final thing that I told you, at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, the one question will never be answered. The key question in this case will never be answered. It can never be proven. And that is, how did Kaylee die? I'm going to start with my biggest fear. I'm going to tell you right up front what I fear may happen in this case. And I want to talk to you about it and explain why I feel that way. This case deals with so much emotion. I know that there were times where every single person in here felt something deep down inside. Your rules of deliberation, what the law is, is that this case must not be decided for or against anyone because you feel sorry for anyone or are angry at anyone.
You'll notice that Mr. Baez locks the jury's focus on this while subtly concealing this. He presents the argument that the prosecution has purposely got the jury emotionally invested in the case in the hope it would push them towards a guilty verdict. Yet in this exact same statement, he himself is getting them emotionally invested for the exact opposite reason. While refuting the prosecution's supposed attempt to entice anger, he subtly attempts to evoke...
There was a lot of fucking evidence there too, man. The mother and the lawyer slandered the father. I don't... This is insane. This is the crazy... Well, no, the newest one he put up is a banger too.
Say what you want about this attorney and the ethics of his...
No, it's all good, Zeb. You're good.
...his conduct, but what you are about to witness is expertly done, and what many believe to be what saved Casey Anthony's life.
And that's because, obviously, we want you to base your verdict on the evidence, not on emotion. And it's my biggest fear because it's such a difficult thing for you to push aside. Kaylee Anthony was a beautiful, sweet, innocent child who died far too soon. There's no doubt about it, and that is not disputed by anyone. But to parade her up here, to invoke your emotion, would be improper. It's improper under the law, and it's improper as to the rules of your deliberation. He went on for a great length of time talking about this beautiful child. Not on his evidence, not on the evidence that was presented before you. It was to set up the emotion for what was to come. And that is exactly how this case was presented. They didn't come right out the gate and show you the evidence. They gave you 2 weeks of testimony that was completely irrelevant and served only one purpose. And that was to paint Casey Anthony as a slut, as a party girl, as a girl who lies.
That judge looks relaxed. He's just like leaning back.
Has absolutely nothing to do with how Kaylee died. And this prosecution was geared in such a manner that it was deliberate, it was methodical, it was thorough, and it was detailed.
Mr. Baez then focuses on the fact that the state has the burden of proof, and thereafter continues to intertwine the two essential features of his argument, empathy and doubt.
Don't speculate. Don't guess. It has to be proven to you beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. If you don't know what happened, it wasn't proven. We don't want you to tell us what you think happened. We want you to tell us what was proven happened. And that's the difference here. Because you know what? We can go on and speculate all day long as to the different theories that were posed before you, as to the different possibilities.
Didn't know Badlands Chugs was a judge.
But the truth of the matter is it must be what was proven. There are no mysteries to solve here. There should be no mystery before you right now. If you have questions, then it was not proven. And that's as simple as it goes. Now,
he was his lawyer?
Back to what I was saying with their initial setup, the way the case was presented, the first couple of weeks. You see, the strategy behind that is if you hate her, if you think she's a lying, no-good slut, then you'll start to look at this evidence in a different light. You'll start to, well, wait a minute. Maybe I'm seeing something that's not there. And start to actually discriminate against her rather than give her the standard that is afforded to each and every citizen in our country. And that is that the state, that the government come in here and prove their case beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. But you can get away with that if we can get a jury to hate her. But you're here to fulfill an oath. You've labored tremendously over this journey. And we're going to ask you to render a verdict of not guilty on these charges because they simply were not proven.
and they're simply not true.
For the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange County, Florida. State of Florida versus Casey Marie Anthony. As to case number 2008 CF 15606-0. As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child, verdict as to count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. And juror number 12, were these your true and correct verdicts? Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Will counsel and the defendant approach the podium?
Well, I hope that this is a lesson to those of you who have indulged in media assassination for 3 years, bias and prejudice, and incompetent talking heads saying what would be and how to be. I'm disgusted by some of the lawyers that have done this, and I can tell you that my colleagues from coast to coast and border to border have condemned this whole process of lawyers getting on television and talking about cases that they don't know a damn thing about and don't have the experience to back up their words or the law to do it. Now you've learned a lesson. And we appreciate the jury. Those of you that have been objective and professional, we like it. Others, we're going to be talking to again. Thank you very much.
And now I'm going to jerk off to myself after that very arrogant speech. Jesus Christ, man.
Casey did not murder Kaylee. It's that simple. And
oh, you know, look, I get why she got off. Okay? But you know she did, man. You know she did. All right, there was no the physical evidence, which I'm kind of surprised. It seems like how was there not like one of her mother? Well, there would have been. I guess the argument could have been made. I didn't watch the whole court case, where we found her mother's hairs on her. Like, well, that's her mother, of course. You know that she did, dude. But the thing was, there was no direct physical correlation that would have put her in there. But you know damn well she should have been in there.
today, our system of justice has not dishonored her memory by a false conviction.
Man, oh man, oh man. I guess as frustrating as it is, I guess I get it. I guess it's really painfully obvious that she's fucking guilty. But I guess from the corpse of her daughter directly correlated to her being in any kind of physical action, fine. I guess they're right, but it's so gross. But what do? That's the system. You have to have faith in it, because if you don't have faith in it, then society crumbles. I mean, she Googled suffocation. She Googled suffocation the day her daughter went missing. But it's a hell of a lawyer. He better hope that hell doesn't exist, though. Because if it does, I assure you, that man is going there. Anyway. Alright, guys. I gotta be up relatively early. So I will see you tomorrow with more content. I actually have videos ready. Well, yeah. Has she ever had another child, too? Jesus Christ, if she did. I've heard some say she was found not guilty because she would have gotten the death penalty if found guilty, so. I'm not really for the death penalty for no other reason. I understand tax burden, blah, 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 blah. Well, yes, there's always that occasional where someone, it's the exception, not the rule, I know, but there's someone that's innocent and at the 11th hour they found out and they're actually suffering. You're dead. They may not be suffering after they're dead, you know? But let me put my shirt on, take a piss, and I'll see. Maybe I will come back for a little bit more. Maybe I'll play a game or something. I gotta piss, though. Have to piss. Jesus, I almost pounded down a whole case of seltzer. My shirt inside out. Yes, it is. No, now it's inside out. Motherfucker. Shirts are complicated. Shirts. Should have put on some kind of dramatic music with that while I was putting that shirt on. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to empty out my whole... Stare at my birds. Point at his bird breasts. Satisfying. Birds. Breasts. You're distracting the stream. You need to go back down here with your wonderful bird ass. Bird ass. Bird ass. You have a bird ass. I see that bird ass. It's poultry ass. Commodore Amiga. What do you... Why are you doing this? I don't have a Commodore Amiga. Why are you doing this? I'm just doing random shit now. This is overtime. I'm doing whatever the fuck I want to. I'm gonna drink seltzer and stare at a fucking bird. And you're gonna watch me. Listen to all these cocks. Ah. It is. It's bird ASMR. Ah, the quartering. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about the quartering. He's probably gonna say some stupid shit. And I don't want to dunk on the guy while he has COVID, man. That's kind of my hesitation on it, because can we react to still the funniest thing for you? If it's Phil fapping, then no.
Hey, Copper.
Gavin McGinnis. No, I gotta watch it first. I gotta be careful with Gavin McGinnis. Is Carlos? All right. So let me. Maybe we'll watch the quartering thing, and I could keep my etiquette about me. You know, I don't want to see anything happen to the guy. Okay. I have the Rona, and it kind of sucks.
Hey, a lot of people out there.
All right.
Realized or are noticing now, you know, that my output this week has been a little bit low, and I do apologize for that. I got home Tuesday night. I went to dinner on Monday night. Came home Tuesday. Everyone was a little tired on Monday night. My wife and the guy that's staying with us, because he broke his back, where they were taking care of. Everyone got back on Monday night and kind of went straight to bed at like 10 or 11, which is kind of early for us. Then I woke up Tuesday and everything kind of felt...
Was he vaccinated or no? I'm just curious. I don't...
Fine. And then Tuesday afternoon at like 3 o'clock, just got hit like a freight train. Came upstairs, went upstairs from my office, and went in, just like crawled into bed, slept for like 2 hours. I actually had darts that night. I thought I wasn't feeling good because I hadn't been taking my I take something daily for anxiety, and I had let that prescription lapse. So and it had been like 4 or 5 days. If you know anything about SSRIs, things you take for your brain, if you're not supposed to go cold turkey on them,
yeah, I've done that though, dude. You get zaps. It doesn't make you feel sick. At least it didn't make me. But that's just me. It just kind of gave me those like. That's the best way I could describe him. It was like that, but I didn't feel sick. I was irritable.
And it had been like 4 or 5 days, so I thought maybe I was just tired from that. Well, then, so I went to darts, and then I came home, felt fine. Woke up the next day, absolute wreck. Wednesday morning, just destroyed. Slept until, I don't know, 2 o'clock, 2:30 or something like that, and was pretty sure that I had the coof. Never really felt anything like that before, just the body aches. So of course, as was the case now with most people, we have tests in the house. Took the test.
What was his stance on corona? I know he said he said ridiculous shit about the vaccine. That's why I'm curious if he got the vaccine or not. Like, was he like anti? Like that COVID was a hoax? Was he on board with that?
Came back positive. Told my wife, hey, you should probably just take one too, of a different brand, just to see. And sure enough, she took one, and that came back positive. That was...
I'm pretty sure I saw him say some anti-vax. He's anti-mandate? Okay. All right.
Wednesday morning.
Not looking to dunk on him. I'm just trying to find out what's going on.
Today's Thursday. I think Wednesday I would say I was probably at like 20%. Body aches, unbelievably bad. I didn't have a fever. I still don't have a fever. I don't really have any respiratory issues, like a little bit of kind of goo, but nothing too bad. Just tired and burnt out and wanting to just do nothing. But I can only lay around in bed so long, and my job isn't exactly physically taxing. So, you know, I'm sleeping in and then come down here and do some work and then kind of rest.
Is this now his full-time thing, or has it been his full-time thing and he was just saying that he had, like, you know, he puts out, like, some days, like, 7 fucking videos a day. There's no way has time to do anything else, even with editors and a team.
For the rest of the day. What am I doing for any kind of medical stuff? Well, first thing I did was pick up the phone and call Joe Rogan, but I actually don't have his number. So then I was going to call Aaron Rodgers, and I didn't have his number. And then I thought about Dana White, and I didn't have his number.
Joe Rogan would just send you a shirtless picture of himself flexing and say that would cheer you. Hey, have you ever had any elk meat?
And I realized I don't have any famous friends or any famous doctor friends. I'm just a regular pleb like anyone else. So I did a little bit of reading up, and I talked to some people that I knew had it. Tried to get, like, you know, take their temperature on it and see how it went. And what I found was that a lot of people, you know, it seemed like everybody's story was pretty different. It probably depends on strain. For me, it's the body aches easily, by far the worst. And 2, the second worst thing about it is the, how do I put this in a...
Bowel movements. I'm calling it. His whole... he has an explosive bearded hole.
Yeah. In a, it's the number 2s being number 1s. Well,
I called it. He's spewing out the brownie batter. Oh. I think I'm soundboarding that. I think I'm soundboarding the number 2s being number 1s. Yes, we are soundboarding the number 2s being number 1s. Let's continue.
Call it that. That for me has been bizarre. I didn't expect.
Melania Trump has launched, and I'm sure Donald was like, what can we do with these non-fucking fungible tokens? How can I scam people and make something off of it? My dick is huge. Don't listen to Marco Rubio. Yo, he probably like mentions it every day he wakes up with Molly. Like, Molly, make sure my penis is still tremendous, believe me. And his dick probably is small, and she's like, yeah, it's huge. All right, thank you. I know, but I just wanted you to check as well.
Like that, but I guess some people told me that it's common. Everything's a symptom, right? To me, it's felt pretty much like a flu.
Yeah, I thought he's had another day job.
A really bad one, but I feel myself improving every day. You know, and I did what any normal person would do. The second I knew that I had it, I created a short list of people that I had interacted with on Tuesday night at darts, and I called them all and just said, hey, you know, keep an eye out. Everyone on my team had already had it, so no one was really concerned. And as of right now, 2 days later, nobody's reached back and said that they're sick. So that's good. That was kind of the first thing I thought of, was like, okay, well, hopefully I didn't get anyone else sick. I think I know where it came from. Just
I am going
it was funny
relatively
because
soon.
It was like me, my wife, and our friend all got sick within like freaking, I don't know, 30 minutes of each other. So that led me to believe that it was relatively likely we were all exposed in pretty much the same time. And there were 2 people we hung out with on Saturday. And yeah, they are poked, but I reached out to them and they aren't feeling well. So I'm pretty sure I know where it came from. I'm not worried about it. I'm not mad at them. You know, I made the choice to go out and venture out. I don't blame anyone for that. I feel like I must have had it a little bit easier than everyone else. I mean, it's nice for me, fortunate for me, sorry.
He doesn't mention here if he's vaccinated or not.
That I work from home because I'm 3 feet from the toilet, which seems to be very helpful. I seem to feel better when I get up and I'm moving around. I can't really find a comfortable position to lay in bed, but I know that I'm like tired and I'm kind of run down. I'm hoping, you know, the dogs, you know, they need to get out and play. So I'm hoping that I can, oh, that was my chair, not my arms. I'm hoping that I can, like right now,
that was my chair, not my arms. Hope to God your arms don't crack like that. What the hell does that mean?
Feel good enough that I could probably take my dogs to the park or to my land, let them run around. But I'm trying to take it easy. One thing that definitely is a reality is that Christmas is canceled. I let my family know. You know, I have old people, octogenarians on all sides of my families. You know, pretty much everyone is poked up. But, you know, it's better to be safe than sorry. I don't know what the actual quarantine day is now.
Well, at least he doesn't seem anti-vax. I don't know. I've seen him say stupid shit about the vaccine, but...
I think, you know, obviously I first tested positive on the 15th. So even 10 days would take us to Christmas. And, you know, I've got grandpas and grandmas and stuff on both sides. I just would, you know, I just wouldn't want to risk it.
Yeah, he's doing, like, the right things here. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, many people in my family are just saying, you know, come anyway. And, you know, as long as you test negative. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll see. You know, if my grandma and grandpa say it's okay, then as long as I test negative, like 2 consecutive days, I probably would be fine with it. I'd probably still keep my distance and wear a mask. But, yeah, it hasn't been great. I feel like I've turned the corner, but it's only been a couple of days. And, you know, really just want to make this video to, you know, explain where I've been. And, you know, I may take Friday off entirely. And, you know, I'm thankful, you know, because everyone that, you know, I've seen you all support. And, you know, the people that, you know, before... Like YouTube has the membership program now, and they're and I have my Subscribe Star. So if I have to take a day or 2 off, it's not the end of the world. So I'm really thankful, you know, for those of you that are joined as members, those of you that back me on Subscribe Star. That's what it's for. You know, I can continue to pay my editor and continue to pay my thumbnail person and my my videographer. The guy that does my intros, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm really thankful for all of you. You know, I'm not going to use this, you know, my getting sick as a means to push any kind of politics. I feel like my position has been pretty clear about it. I am absolutely pro-science, and I am absolutely against mandates. It's a position a lot of people hold. So my wife is basically, you know, I'm on we're on like day 3, really day 2. You know, my wife is pretty significantly better, but she's also in much better physical condition than I am. She's probably at like 80% after 3 days. I'm at like 55, 60% after 3 days. You know, I just think, you know, it's scary seeing that second red line appear because, you know, you consume so much. In the media, you know, this thing isn't, you know, something to be trifled with. You need to take it seriously. You know, people do die from it. Unfortunately, thus far I haven't had any, respiratory issues or any of the more scary stuff. I don't even have a fever, which is kind of weird because I don't have one. My wife doesn't, but our friend does. So that's been kind of weird, like seeing everybody's different symptoms. I mean, we clearly all have the same strain and from the same person, but if I'm light on Friday, you know why, and I appreciate your patience. I appreciate everyone, and I don't want the comment section to be a battle of, pro or anti anything. I just want to inform you all.
Well, that's going to happen.
All where I'm at. I'm feeling good. I mean, other than obviously I'm sick, but I'm in good spirits.
He
I'm
doesn't
resting,
seem.
drinking
Hopefully,
a
it
lot of
stays
water.
that way. He doesn't seem that bad.
September 6th. Doesn't say the year, but this was. Oh, It. Chapter 2. Cup did not age very well. It's newer than I would expect. That's newer. That cup's newer than my famous Twilight cup, which is like 20 years old, and I still have it. I'm staying hydrated in terms of anything medical. I'm staying hydrated, taking my multivitamin, and I'm resting. In terms of all that other stuff, I don't have access to that. Would I take it? Probably. But for now, I'm just resting and staying away from people, doing the responsible thing. I won't be going back out until I have consecutive days of non-positives, as well as obviously feeling better. I'm only 2 or 3 days. So I'm only 2 or 3 days in. So feeling okay, tired, sore, but feeling fortunate. So yeah, I'll still be working. I appreciate your support, and I'm gonna go take a nap.
It's fine. There was nothing like there was, I don't wish him any ill will with that kind of. This shit ain't that serious. You know what I mean? There was nothing there that I was like a want take. It is what it is. It's fine. Like, I'm not trying to like be dismissive of the video. There was nothing there to like, oh my god, I can't believe it. I think he hinted there. I can't prove it that he would have taken ivermectin. But if he was vaccinated, it sounds like he was. If he's pro-science, he may not say it straight up that he was vaccinated because I think he knows his audience would shriek. But it sounds like he was. He'll be all right, It'll suck, but if he was vaccinated, even if he doesn't directly admit it, he'll be okay. All right, now I'm going to go to bed. It's 11:15. All right, guys. I will be back tomorrow with content. I'm going to be filming this video tomorrow. The video on this might be up tomorrow, but I'm thinking realistically Saturday. I'll get my editor the footage tomorrow because I wanted. This was for me to be up until 4 a.m. doing this shit. It was a passion. It's a passion project. I'm really excited about this thing, and I have a lot to say. So, and I'm fucking exhausted because, like I said, even though I fell back to sleep till like 2, it was like a shit sleep. Like even though you slept, it wasn't great. Because I'm not used to sleeping that time. Now I'm just rambling because I'm stoned. Have a good night, birds. Love you.